This season's first 4 races have put 4 different faces in victory lane. But not much has been predictable about the start of this season. For many drivers, it's been sort of helter-skelter. Don't you think these guys are ready for a little short tracking? Welcome to TNN Motorsports exclusive live coverage of the BellSouth Mobility Opryland USA 320 from Nashville Speedway, where it's a beautiful sunny day for racing for the Busch Series first test of the brand new repaving here at Nashville. The first time in 23 years this track has seen a new surface. Hi everybody, welcome to Nashville and happy St. Patrick's Day. I'm Mike Joy, pleased to be here for the centerpiece of our triple header of live racing coverage today on TNN. It's been a topsy-turvy, helter-skelter season for some, but a couple of Busch Series regulars are off to a great start, including one former champion, David Green and Randy LaJoie.
I tell you, it's been a dream season so far, and you know, not just the finishes, but like Atlanta, for example, Kurt and all the guys really gave me a good race car, made it comfortable, and made David Green feel comfortable at a place like Atlanta, which was something I wanted to accomplish one day.
I can't be happier. We run well in every race. Had a little bad luck, had a couple mental errors, but other than that, you know, we're in good shape. This is probably the best start to any season I've ever had.
Well, it's been a dream season kind of start for some and a bit nightmarish for others. Here's my broadcast partner, Buddy Baker.
Well, Mike, it hadn't been a real nightmare, but Chad Little last year to this point had won half of the races. This year, he hadn't even had a top 10. On the other hand, Jason Keller has had 2 top 10s, but he's been in a lot of trouble. You know, a positive attitude is what these guys have to have.
Yeah, I mean, we're disappointed. We'd like our finishes to be better, but there's still a lot of positives to look forward to. What our job now is to just turn, you know, whatever negatives there are into positives and, you know, keep leading the team and be strong about where we are and keep believing in ourselves.
We've got out to a slow start, but a lot of people would have loved us starting off with 2 top 10s, you know, so I think we just had so high of expectations. Maybe it's not as high, not as good as we wanted to start off, but it's okay. We'll be just fine.
All it'll take is a win today to change it around for these guys. But first, they have to get by the guys on the front row. Let's go to Randy Pemberton.
Well, they're home track favorites, so to speak, on the front row. First off, it's a new track. It's a new track record for the pole sitter. That's Sterling Marlin. He's the real hometown favorite. Hey, Sterling, you haven't won a race in a while, but you've won a lot of them here. What about it today?
Well, the McDowell Enterprises Pontiac's running real good, and we fell off the truck fast and got on the pole and had a real good practice yesterday evening. So we'll keep our fingers crossed to maybe win this thing.
Okay, that's Sterling Marlin on the pole with a new track record. Flanking him, hometown favorite, I said, but that is the team of Kenny Wallace. His Red Dog Ford is poised in the 2nd spot. Kenny's hometown team moved to Charlotte, but they're still a favorite here. He hopes to go to victory lane today. Now for the guy that'll sing our national anthem here today, TNN's own host of Primetime Country, Tom Wopat.
Race fans, the host of Primetime Country, Mr. Tom Wopat, and our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Well, he's got a lot better sounding pipes than the General Lee did. He took David and Jeff Green for a ride around the track earlier in the week here. We'll talk to him about that. We'll be right back.
Today's exclusive coverage of the BellSouth Mobility Opryland USA 320 on TNN is brought to you by Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil, controls volatility and fights vaporization. By the more than 1,250 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. By John Deere, makers of quality lawn and grounds care equipment. Nothing runs like a Deere. And by Purolator. To protect your engine, remember, pure oil now, pure oil later. Purolator.
Cody Donald is given the command to fire engines as they roll out here at Nashville. Here's your AutoZone race analysis brought to you by the more than 1,200 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, best parts in auto parts. 40 cars will start today's race. 320 laps is the distance. David Green holds the race record. Larry Pearson had the qualifying record that now belongs to Sterling Marlin. The way they'll line up today, Marlin gets his first career Busch pole at a place where he's won 3 championships. Kenny Wallace has a pair of top 5s here. Chad Little hasn't finished in the top 10 since August. Mike McLaughlin second at Rockingham. Todd Bodine, an 8-time race winner, and Larry Pearson 5th here a year ago. Rodney Combs and sophomore Curtis Markham. Row 5, Doug Hebron, his best start of the season. And Joe Nemechek, runner-up at Richmond 2 weeks ago. Row 6, David Green, defending champion of this race, and Jason Keller with 2 top 10s thus far. Mike Wallace, a strong 4th at Richmond, and Terry Labonte, winner at Atlanta. Tim Fedewa in his 4th start with the Doug Taylor team. Elton Sawyer fills in for his knee-injured wife, Patty Moyes. Randy LaJoie, 3 top 10s in the first 4 races. Randy Porter, 3rd start of the year. Michael Waldrop only completed 81 laps here last year. And Mark Green, the 3rd of 3 brothers in today's event. Dick Trickle from the pole last week at Atlanta, and Glenn Allen Jr., the rookie from Ohio. Hermie Sadler, the young Virginia driver, and Phil Parsons, 3rd at Atlanta last week. Bobby Labonte, his best this year, a 5th at Rockingham. Last year's rookie of the year, Jeff Fuller. Stevie Reeves, the former USAC midget champ, and Bobby Dotter makes his first start since Daytona. Chuck Bound makes his first Nashville start since 1989, and Jeff Purvis, who got his first career win at Richmond. Tommy Houston, 3rd in the inaugural Busch race here in '84, and Jerry Nadeau, 7th Busch Series start for the Connecticut driver. Jeremy Mayfield's another former track regular here at Nashville, and Joe Bessie coming off that savage wreck last week at Atlanta. Jim Bound had a practice crash on Friday. He's made the show. And Kevin LePage, new crew chief in his first Nashville start. Mike Dillon is a rookie. He's from Welcome, North Carolina. And Johnny Rumley, a 2-time Busch winner. Jeff Green, still looking for his first win for Dale Earnhardt. And Dennis Setzer, rookie of the year in 1994. Today, we'll be riding along with Dick Trickle in the Duralube Chevrolet of Dennis Shoemaker. Here's a look at the 360-degree race cam for Trickle, starting 22nd. And what Trickle sees is best shown by the roof cam, high and center on the front roof of the car. And a look out the right side window at the high bank new pavement here at Nashville. The Peebles Department Store's in-car camera rides with Hermie Sadler in the DeWalt Tools Chevrolet from Sadler Racing. There's the roof cam on Hermie's car. And we'll also get a look at Hermie as he drops down the visor on his Simpson helmet and gets ready to go to work. They used to run Winston Cup races here at a distance of 420 laps on this 0.6 of a mile speedway, so that distance has been converted to 320 for today's Busch race. Packed house and all those St. Patrick's Day green hats wave in the air as they come down for the start. Sterling Marlin leads them to the green flag from Bob Whitaker of the Grand Ole Opry Group, and we're racing at Nashville.
Well, Mike Sterling got a great jump on the start there. You see he's about 2 car lengths in the lead over Kenny Wallace down the back straightaway. Very important to get in that lower lane to begin with, because there's a lot of dust on the top part of this racetrack right now.
You have to go way back to Joe Nemechek there, the white car, to find them too wide, as everyone up front is trying to drop into single file running order back through about 9th place. There's Jeff Fuller up on the outside of the Luxier car for rookie Glenn Allen Jr. As you rode there with Hermie Sadler, here's the view up front.
Mike, we had an all-pro race here yesterday, and they did work in a second groove a little bit, so the racetrack's in fine shape for today. You can see all the cars are running very well at the start of the race, and nobody's really been caught in that outside groove with a problem.
The big question, buddy, will be these heavier Busch cars on this new surface. The all-pro cars weigh 2,800 pounds with the driver. These Busch cars, 3,300 pounds without. So the racing weight difference is about 700 pounds per car.
That's Jeff Fuller just in front of the in-car of Dick Trickle there. You can see that he was on the outside of the racetrack, pulled back down in the preferred line in the bottom part of the racetrack. Dick Trickle's running very well in this car. He sat on the pole in Atlanta.
And right behind him is Jeff Purvis. As you look forward at last year's Rookie of the Year, Jeff Fuller in the Sunoco Chevy. There's Purvis in that number 4 car, which picked up new sponsorship today from Nashville country artist David Lee Murphy, whose album Out With a Bang is what Purvis hopes not to do today.
Boy, Purvis is showing a lot of straightaway speed. He pulled by Trickle right down the straightaway and pulled him by a car length right down the middle of the straightaway.
Purvis slapped the wall in qualifying, so ended up starting deep in the field. He's coming to the front. That James Finch number 4 car, he's at 24th place. Back up front, Sterling Marlin is in the number 22 Fred Turner car, usually driven by Ward Burton, but it was Marlin who gave Turner his first Busch Series victory. So Fred was glad to provide a Sterling for a car for his Nashville homecoming today.
You see Kenny Wallace in the 8 car there. He has really pulled up on the Sterling Marlin there. He looks to be a little bit faster from the center part of the corner. He's making a move down the front straightaway to take the lead.
Marlin tries to squeeze him off, but has to give the Ford racing room. Pontiac versus Ford at the front of the field here, and Chad Little looking in that John Deere green machine. Kenny may get him this time.
Kenny's in a good spot there. Sterling's really running well down the straightaway, but Kenny is just out handling him right now, and I would imagine that Little will make the move to, or try to.
Chad Little also in a Pontiac. There you see the new Grand Prix body style on Chad Little's car. Last year's sheet metal on Sterling Marlin's.
Well, yesterday in practice, Chad Little was the fastest car that everybody was talking about. He was really getting around this racetrack, but you never know about Kenny Wallace. He's got a lot up his sleeve. You can see that car is running quite well.
So Kenny Wallace, whose team is owned by Nashville businessman Phil Martossi, and as Randy told you at the top of the show, was based here in Nashville, has the lead. Mike McLaughlin, the Royal Oak Charcoal, number 34. C.C. Welliver and Gittler Racing, team 34. And that's Todd Bodine, unsponsored. And the word is that team may have to fold if they can't secure sponsorship for the rest of the season. Todd at number 81.
And the 92 moving up right behind Todd Bodine there. That's Larry Pearson with a new paint job for this year.
Doesn't look like McLaughlin's running just a little bit higher in turns 1 and 2 than those other 2 cars.
Well, you know, Mike McLaughlin's got a wonderful thing about his driving style. He'll take care of his tires. So right now, I would imagine that he's already started a little bit of tire management.
See him sweep up the racetrack just a bit while Todd Bodine looks underneath. Larry Pearson, the Stanley Tools car, right with him. And then it's Rodney Combs in the 43. 13 laps complete here in Nashville. You're watching Busch Series Racing live on the Nashville Network. We'll be right back. Coming around to complete 20 laps of 320 here at Nashville Speedway USA. Trouble in turn 2. That's Mark Green in the wall. Oh, and he gets tagged by Jerry Nadeau, and he spins. Oh, and gets T-boned by Jeff Green.
Mike Dillon was also in that spin on the back straightaway.
I think Jeff Green was looking to go to the low side. Mike Dillon spun the Detroit gasket number 72 there and could not get away and left Green no place to go, but right into Jerry Nadeau. Nadeau, who's had a lot of luck in the Saab Open Wheel Series, hopes to do about 20 Busch races and will run the Formula Opel Euro Union Series. First race April 14th in Hockenheim, Germany. Jeff Green has dropped the window net. That's a signal to the NASCAR officials that the driver's okay. They ask him the first thing, if you're okay, drop the window net. And he climbs out. Fire crews on the scene.
Yeah, he had a fire under the right front there, but I think it was probably a fuel line going to the fuel pump itself. And, you know, it's a control fire. It's not one that's going to spread.
Jerry Nadeau trying to drive away. The initial contact was after Mark Green had slowed noticeably the lap before. May have had a tire going down. He's climbed out of his car. And Mark just barely got clipped by that red number 59 of Nadeau. Oh, there's why he got a little slowed up.
That's Phil Parsons in the 10 just below him there. You see him go up out of the groove. It's very slick on the high side. Now, whether he gets touched again, he looked like he's very straight. There's Purvis under him. Okay, the car takes off like the right front flat. He hits the outside wall there.
So Green rolls to a stop. You'll see Nadeau coming along and thought he had him cleared. Not quite. And Nadeau spins. All right, now there's Mark Green into the wall. Now you'll see Jerry Nadeau, the red 59, coming along.
He just clipped him a little bit on the left front. You see Mike Dillon going around there, hitting the inside wall. That was a pretty hard lick there.
Jeff Green had a car immediately to his right, so he could not clear Nadeau's car on the right side. Let's show you what Dick Trickle saw. Just your average short track day at the races.
So you want to be a race driver, huh?
One close call after another. Everybody is okay. We'll be right back to Nashville after this. Commercial transportation for today's telecast has been provided by Ryder, the official transportation company of Opryland. Cleaning up from his first caution of the day, tough break for Mark Green. His team owner Clarence Brewer Jr. and wife Tammy welcomed a new daughter, Paige, on Thursday at 9:23 in the morning. And they'll have a new race car next week, too.
Mike, you could see when he had the right front go flat, he had to get on the brakes because he was headed for the wall no matter what he did. But once it starts like that, it's just like hitting sand. You can turn the wheel all you want to. You're still going ahead.
Let's show it to you again. You'll see here the initial contact down in turn 1.
Well, Phil just got into him a little bit, but he's under control right there. Now watch when the right front goes flat. Watch it just go towards the wall. There's nothing he can do.
Now there you saw Jerry Nadeau just barely clip him.
Then his brother comes right down through here in the 3 car. Nice hard lick. They do really got smacked there.
Jeff Green had nowhere to go. The high lane was full of cars and Mike Dillon was spun on the bottom. All he could do was lock it up.
Well, this back straightaway, you can see how narrow it is anyhow, so there's not a lot of option when you start down through there.
There's Mark Green's car being towed away. And the rollback truck will pick up Jerry Nadeau. Let's get a look at this week's Innovation in Motion, brought to you by Peerless Faucet. Get more out of your faucet than just water. There's a new rule in the Busch Series. Of the 3 sets of new tires each team gets to practice on before qualifying, 1 set has to be turned into NASCAR, so all teams will now qualify on new sticker tires. Ray Hill explains.
Well, there's so many chemical companies out there now and so many chemicals that you can treat rubber with, and it really doesn't show up on the tire while it's new, but once the tire has been run on a racetrack and it generates heat, it takes an effect on the rubber and makes a compound a lot softer.
Just another effort to level the playing field. Here's a young fella. You talk about nightmarish seasons. 25th at Daytona, 20th at Rockingham, 37th at Richmond. did not finish 32nd in Atlanta, and on the hook here. It's that car and that team have had a nightmarish start to the season. Jeff Green. We're under caution at 25 laps at Nashville Speedway USA. It's been called the Batman Building. It's the tallest in Tennessee. It's BellSouth's headquarters, and it dwarfs the Ryman Auditorium, newly renovated, the Mother Church of Country Music, the Nashville skyline. The People's in-car camera on Hermie Sadler's DeWalt Chevy, looking ahead at Joe Bessie. Well, let's take a look at where some of these drivers have started this year versus last. David Green leading the points, a dismal 24th at this point a year ago. Randy LaJoie had no points. He was Winston Cup racing last year at this time. He's 5th in the standings. Jason Keller 7 spots down. Chad Little 14 spots off where he sat 1 year ago. Other drivers like Jeff Fuller in similar straits. Great start last year and struggling so far right now. But it's a long season.
Exactly. I was fixing to say, they had just begun to play the song, you know. There's a long dance in front of us.
Light is out on the safety car. Oh, excuse me, it is not. We'll get at least one more lap of caution. One backstretch looks pretty wide right now, but you get a couple of cars sideways and not a lot of place to go.
Mike, I'm telling you, it's like running down the middle of a bowling alley with 4 balls coming at you at one time. I've been in trouble over there before in the race, and I can tell you, they get there in a hurry, and it's very narrow.
Kenny Wallace is the leader. Chad Little runs in 2nd. Pole sitter Sterling Marlin is 3rd. Mike McLaughlin is 4th. Todd Bodine's in 5th. Larry Pearson 6th. 7th is Rodney Combs. 8th is Curtis Markham. 9th Doug Hebron, and 10th David Green. Then it's Jason Keller, Terry Labonte, Mike Wallace, Joe Nemechek, and Tim Fedor. Immediately following our live telecast here in Nashville, stay tuned for the Mac Tools Gator Nationals. Final round, NHRA drag racing action right here on TNN Motorsports. Getting set for the restart. Let's update you on pit stops. Randy?
Well, certainly a bunch of the guys at the tail end of the field decided to come in and make a few adjustments to the cars. Nothing to lose, top off their fuel tanks. Could save them later on because a lot of them were being pressed, getting ready to go a lap down, like Dennis Setzer, Chuck Bound, and also the Kevin LePage car. So they went ahead and topped them off, and we're ready to go back to green this time around.
Green hats in the air, looking for the green flag to wave too. No shamrocks on that flag, but it's a welcome sight for Kenny Wallace as we get back to green. Rodney Combs inside of Larry Pearson, going to take Curtis Markham with him perhaps.
Well, Larry's going to fight for this spot. They're racing right now very hard in the early stages of the race. You see Larry caught on the outside there. You just have to give way a little bit because the inside of the racetrack is so much quicker.
Kenny Wallace got a great restart, but now Chad Little comes right back to it. As the car lengths separate the 2 leaders, Pearson did get back in line, but in 10th place.
You see the 3rd car in this frame coming at you here. That's Sterling Marlin. He had dropped back a little bit. I think maybe he was just taking it easy. He's got a lot of race cars. He set a new track record here, and he's running quite well.
Trouble front straightaway. Jeff Fuller is in the wall. Talk about fellows who've had heartbreaking starts to the season.
Wow. He's got a lot of sheet metal damage on the right-hand side there when he got into the wall. You see the right front's knocked all the way over inside the tire there.
Yep, there's nothing you could have done, buddy. Just keep it rolling. Just catch the field. Catch the field.
Getting a little encouragement from the spotter.
Sheet metal on the right rear is a little bit, I think you got clearance. It shouldn't be a problem. It looks like you just barely touched the right rear corner. We'll just go out and check out that side. You didn't spin, did you? No, we stayed straight.
It's at the front end, too.
That's okay, Fuller talking about the damage.
We'll definitely get in here this
Steve Plattberger, the crew chief, he can't see the damage on the right side of that car, so the spotter trying to explain how much is damaged. and what they'll need.
They Fuller sideways there coming out of the fourth corner and right into the outside wall. And there is a lot of damage there. You can see the rear wheel was bent all up and the right front has been up quite a bit. He's probably got a bent rear end housing, and I know the right front's been in pretty bad.
Tough break for the 92 National Modified Champion and last year's Rookie of the Year. Jeff Fuller will have to come pit side for repairs with the Sunoco Chevy.
Today's exclusive coverage of the BellSouth Mobility Opryland USA 320 on TNN is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. At Napa, we keep America running. And by Monroe Sensatrack Shocks and Struts, making the road a safer place.
We've just gone back to green at lap 37. Kenny Wallace out front. Jeff Fuller made 2 pit stops for repairs. He had cut down a right rear tire. That was the reason for his bout with the wall. And Chad Little goes looking for the lead.
Boy, he was looking on the inside, just run out of real estate there and thought better of it and pull right back in the second.
Chad Little has only led 1 lap this season. That was at Daytona. At this point last year, he'd led 303 laps through the first 4 races, including 2 victories.
Kenny Wallace's car is getting great forward bite in the center part of the corner, but Chad Little's car overall, I think, is just as fast. I think they're both kind of biding their time just at the moment.
Sterling Marlin holds 3rd. Mike McLaughlin 4th. Todd Bodine 5th, and Curtis Markham having a strong run here in 6th. That Hensley car was strong right off the truck. He's the car on the right side of your screen. Markham is tracking Todd Bodine. Lysol Pontiac. Look at Kenny Wallace build up a lead, though.
Well, that's he's got the clear racetrack right now, and he's just sitting out there running his way of, you know, he don't have to look at anything but the racetrack, keep his concentration, and boy, you can put some distance on people because everybody else is watching what he's doing, and he's watching the racetrack.
Only 2 cars lapped so far. Jim Bound lapped on the racetrack, and Mike Dillon, who was in that spin on the back straightaway. Out of the race, Mark Green, Jerry Nadeau, and Jeff Green.
For the Jeff Fuller fans, we watched him coming out of the pits just a little bit ago. The rear end housing's knocked over quite a bit, so he's got his hands full out there just holding that car under control right now.
But he is still on the lead lap. Let's go back to 23rd position. It's where Hermie Sadler comes up on the inside of Joe Bessie.
That's Elton Sawyer in the 14 caught on the outside. Mike, it looks like that outside groove may be a little more dusty than we thought, because I'm noticing the cars, when they get up there, they just have to give way. There's no way that they can run with people in the lower lane.
About a minute ago, Todd Bodine was the 4th place car. He has suddenly dropped back out of the top 10 as we watch this battle from Hermie Sadler's car. Forward to the main driver, Joe Bessie.
See Hermie looking to the inside there. He'll probably check up because there's only room for 1 car in that lower lane, and you don't want to go up there in no man's land in number 2 lane right at the moment.
Too soon for that. Here comes Sadler looking on the bottom, but Bessie's got a real good run up off the corner.
Hermie's got a lot of straightaway speed. You see him pull up on Bessie down the straightaways, but Bessie's car is able to stay a little bit lower in the corner.
Up at the front of this pack, Tim Fedewa and Phil Parsons are going at it. There's Fedewa in the Kleenex number 40, and Phil Parsons in the Channel Lock 10. Jeff Purvis has come storming through the field. Picked up about 7 spots since the start of this race. There's Purvis in the number 4.
And just behind him is Bobby Labonte in the 44 car. That's Glenn Allen Jr. in the 99 that's following those 2. Look at Phil now. He's got a good run off the corner there. He's trying to make the pass down the back straight over there on Fedewa. Couldn't quite make it. A little bit of contact. Now he is up under him trying to make the pass.
Purvis is going to follow Parsons right on through, and here comes Bobby Labonte.
Glenn Allen Jr. goes by. Joe Bessie comes up, makes the pass. Boy, when you get on the outside, you're in trouble, Mike.
That is for sure. Jeff Purvis picked up a new sponsor today, running on a new racetrack. We asked him, how's this new track surface going to be to race on here today in Nashville?
I don't really know. It feels like the same racetrack. Looks like the same racetrack. It's there's just, you know, right now it's just like a one groove track, and hopefully it'll open up into, you know, a second groove and just, you know, go on from there. But I don't know. I'm gonna just take it like it used to be and try to do the best I can.
Yesterday, what started out as a one groove racetrack, buddy, became a two groove racetrack. We had a great Slim Jim All-Pro show here.
Yeah, you were talking about the difference in a 2,800-pound car and a 3,300-pound car. There's quite a bit of difference in the way you can move around on the racetrack. It looks a little slick up in the second groove to me.
52 laps, Kenny Wallace.
And I bet he looks just like that in the car. When you have one that's running that well, you got a big grin on your face. If you're back here in about 15th spot, you're beginning to frown just a little bit.
Kenny has a 1.8-second lead. Good bit of smoke from Jeremy Mayfield going into the corner. Ooh, there it is, right rear, buddy, right front.
It looks like the right rear. He's coming into the pits just as we speak.
Right front. Pushed in there.
Yeah, they're pulling sheet metal back, so he must have had a little bit of contact with another car. They're sending him right back out. You can see the damage. Yeah.
Back up front, Kenny Wallace. Jeff Green was taken out in trouble, turn one. Randy LaJoie in the fence hard. And down at the bottom of the racetrack, Jeff Purvis. Well, they drive him away. Now, Dillon's car was hurt in that earlier crash. There's LaJoie. Left rear tire rub. I didn't see how that one got started. Let's see how it finished up.
Looks like there might have been a little bit of contact between the two cars getting in there. Purvis might have got into the left rear of LaJoie, and up the racetrack he goes. That's about as easy as you can hit here, though. I think Randy will be able to go on.
Randy Pemberton?
Well, Jeff Green has come from the infield care center. I know you're not happy. What happened?
I don't know. I think Mark got in the wall there and then bottled everybody up, and Jerry Nadeau was sitting there in the middle of the track. And I was in a big pack of cars there, and I couldn't see him till they all split him, and he was right there in front of me. Just the way our year's gone, you know, we can't do anything right. And we're glad when this monkey gets off my back, or this ape, you know, maybe we can win some races for Goodrich. But it's not our day. Nashville's not been very kind to me since 1990, so I don't know if I want to come back or not.
Okay. Well, that's the deal. You know, qualifying has become so critical. These guys got to start up front in order to finish up front. We're going to take a break and be right back to Nashville.
Highway transportation provided by Cedar Ridge RV Center, Branchville, New Jersey, featuring Winnebago. Call Joe Barbagallo and the folks at 1-800-988-4884. They'll tell you why Cedar Ridge is the choice of champions. And immediately following our telecast, Steve Evans and the gang will be in Gainesville, Florida. The Mac Tools Gator Nationals live final round coverage right here on TNN Motorsports. Finishing up this caution period, there have been several pit stops by Randy LaJoie, Steve Bird, and crew trying to get the left rear damage squared away on that Fina Chevrolet.
Jeff Purvis was back in again. He just changed tires. He's back in the back part of the field here.
Going to send LaJoie out to beat the pace car, which they do. Here's Randy.
Well, Sterling Marlin had pitted early among several other contenders, and Sterling and the guys back here in this pit are real concerned about the tires, taking a good hard look at them. He had a heck of a push in that car, so they went ahead and took a rubber out of the right front spring. He hopes that will cure his problem. He can get back to the front.
Just before that caution, Sterling had dropped from 3rd place, where he'd run the entire race, down to 11th.
You can see all the buildup on that tire. That's what happens when you run around here slow and the tire's hot. It picks up every pebble and everything else on the racetrack. That's why you see the guys go back and forth before they drop the green. That was what you'd have in the first turn if you didn't shake it off there.
All right, 60 laps complete this time by of 320. Pace car is in. Kenny Wallace gets set to bring them around to the green. Back to racing. Rodney Combs had a look inside at Curtis Markham's 4th place spot. Markham slips up the racetrack in turn 2, hangs on to the position.
Mike McLaughlin there in the 34. He's giving Chad Little a little boost there in the center part of the corner. He's running quite well now. I think he might have had a tight chassis at the first part of the race, but now it looks like McLaughlin might be one of the faster cars out here.
Jeff Fuller loses a lap on pit road. Boy, Kenny Wallace has gotten some terrific restarts, buddy.
He's got a terrific race car. I tell you right now, he's driving it well, but it's running quite well. It's really handling well, and he's not having to race anybody else. He's just driving his own race right now.
From second on back, things are really tight as we look at the top 10. Chad Little trying to hold off that pack as they go to turn 3. Mike Waltrip opens the window, moves past Joe Nemechek. Slow car on the backstretch is Jeff Purvis. Field will come to him. Purvis will have to go pit side. Phil Parsons, the channel lock Chevy, now underneath Nemechek.
See Phil right up under him there. Nemechek knows he's there. A little contact right in the center part of the corner. They're fighting for every inch of the real estate because you don't want to get way out wide, so you have to use the part of the lower lane. You see half of the car down in the lower lane as he goes in the corner. That leaves very little room for Phil Parsons to get in there.
Glenn Allen Jr. right behind. What a season he's had. Looking for Rookie of the Year honors. They're pretty well welded together, and now Parsons comes out of the corner with 15th place.
There's Glenn Allen Jr. in the 99 car from ASA days. He's running quite well. Joe Bessie makes a move up under Nemechek, but Nemechek was able to hold him off.
Oh, hard in the wall was the 96 of Stevie Reeves. He just came off turn 2, buddy, and may have been a little high and up into that loose stuff because he pasted the wall. Heavy damage to the right rear of the Clabber Girl car.
Mike, you know what happens? Everybody's running the lower part of the racetrack, and the tires are starting to shed. Maybe the racetrack being used starting to shed a little bit, and you're getting a lot of buildup on the outside grooves there. And once you get out there, boy, you're out of here.
So the Mike Curbone Clabber Girl Ford in the fence at turn 2. And we're under caution here at lap 67 for the 4th time today. Stevie's okay. He's moving around, but he's not going to drive that one back. Stevie Reeves climbs out, and we'll take a pause from Nashville Speedway USA. We'll be right back with Busch Racing live here on TNN.
Today's exclusive coverage of the BellSouth Mobility Opryland USA 320 on TNN is brought to you by Pep Boys. 26,000 items at the guaranteed low price. Tires and service too. Everything but gas.
Welcome back to Nashville. You watch Hermie Sadler hard at work there in the DeWalt Tools Chevy. Just rolling along there at idle as we're under caution for the 4th time today. A couple of pit stops. We'll update you on those in a moment as we complete 68 laps. Time for our Pep Boys driver profile. Pep Boys for quality parts, tires, and service. For 37-year-old Jeff Purvis, the path to stardom in the Busch Series has taken a lot of left turns and a very long and winding road.
You know, I started in dirt track racing, and just one thing led to another. I can't really say it was ever a plan to be here at any certain time. It just, you know, we just kept venturing out into some type of racing that we enjoyed doing. Not, you know, we didn't look at what he was paying or anything. We just kept saying, okay, I think I'd like to do that, and that's basically how I got here, to be honest with you.
Purvis having a bit of a tough day here. He's on the lead lap, but he's made multiple pit stops in the David Lee Murphy car. And here's Randy.
Well, the tires are not really the concern right here. We're talking about a lot of teams looking at the tires that came off of Chad Little's car. The racetrack is, it's as Buddy said, it's dusting a little bit. It's very porous and it's new. They haven't had a time to cure as much as they probably would have liked to at this particular time. So Goodyear officials are taking a hard look at these tires, as well as everybody looking at the tires that came off of Chad Little's car. As far as Jeff Purvis, his bad luck up the last 2 weeks continues. He got into that scrape with Randy LaJoie early on, knocked the toe end out. They've come in about 3 or 4 times to set that. They think they have it corrected, and there may be a problem on the 57 car.
Jason Keller's made 2 pit stops. Joe Nemechek 1, and Chad Little, as you saw, came in and took on new tires. We're under caution at lap 70 of 320 here in Nashville. Here's the way they're running.
Racing in about a lap and a half.
Nashville's Parthenon is an exact replica of the one in Athens, Greece. It was built in 1896 to celebrate Nashville's centennial. The city's bicentennial year is 1996.
Now the hood's been up several times.
So we are still under caution here and getting set to go back to green. Pit stops have been completed, and the 1 to go sign goes out on the field. Tom Wopat joins us after a stirring rendition of the national anthem. I didn't know you did that.
Since it's the Opryland 320, they thought they'd get me involved.
Well, great job. I saw you had Jeff and David Green on your show, Primetime Country, the other night.
Right.
And Jeff said, on Dukes of Hazzard, every time you guys ran into something, the car went faster. He's not been able to figure out yet how to do that.
What he needs is a little nudge from his brother from behind, I think.
Well,
unfortunately, today it seems like it's hard to get things going. There's so much trash on the track.
What do you think of this show?
Been enjoying it a lot.
Bringing you the action from Music
Well,
City, USA.
Pretty
Today,
neat deal. We're going to get back with Tom in a second here and eliminate the crosstalk between you and the radio network here. So we're getting set for the restart. Glad to have Tom with us today. 72 laps. Make that 73 on the board. Here we come down for the restart. Green flag once again. Kenny Wallace has spent the day up front in the red dog, number 8. Hauls him off into turn 1.
You know, Mike, several of the lead cars have pulled in and changed tires already. I just hope that Kenny's not stretching it a little bit too far, because there is some concern about tire wear at the moment. And, you know, there's a few of them that stayed out with him, but I am concerned about it.
Mike McLaughlin now in 2nd place. Curtis Markham is 3rd. 4th is Rodney Combs, and David Green, who also calls this track home somewhat, comes up to 5th. 6th is Doug Hevron. 7th, Larry Pearson. 8th, Todd Bodine. 9th is Terry Labonte. His younger brother Bobby is 10th. Mike Wallace 11th, then Michael Waltrip, Phil Parsons, Jeremy Mayfield, and Joe Bessie.
You see Curtis Markham there, he made a move trying to get in 2nd place. There's a little bit of contact on the front straightaway there by some of the slower cars, but everybody got straightened out. Curtis Markham made a tremendous run on 2nd place just a second ago, but couldn't make it stick.
Markham in the Lysol Pontiac of the Hensleys out of Ridgeway, Virginia. Hubert and Jeff Hensley run that team. 31 of the 40 starters on the lead lap. Only 3 cars in the garage thus far.
See, Kenny Wallace still able to pull away, but let's get back here where there's a huge bunch of action going on.
Todd Bodine trying to hold off Terry Labonte, and younger brother Bobby in the Shell Chevy drives on by. So move Bobby Labonte up into 9th and going after Todd Bodine.
See Doug Hevron in the 75 car there, leading Larry Pearson in the 92 down the front straightaway. Here comes Bobby Labonte on the inside.
Turn 4, Dick Trickle goes around. No contact, but a caution flag.
Wowee. Don't. I thought he was going to make a mistake and go all the way across that racetrack.
Nah, I don't think so.
There wasn't any room.
Well, Tom, after all the stunt driving you've done, have you ever had an itch to run one of these around Nashville or get out on a speedway?
I'd really like to do it pretty soon. I know that Mark Colley's talked to me a couple times about it, and actually the other day I did a couple laps with Jeff and David Green. We had a replica of the Dukes of Hazzard car here. We had the General Lee here, so I took that around a couple times and had them holding on pretty good in the back seat, actually.
We saw a tape of that, and you know, Buddy helps run the Buck Baker School down there in Rockingham. I know he's got a few pointers for you. But first,
he's got a nice singing voice, don't you think?
First, let's show you what happened to Dick Trickle here in the Duralube Chevy.
Well, you see he's in the second lane right there. The car just starts around. And I didn't see it ever wiggle or anything. I think he just got out there, got in the dust of the outside part of the racetrack, and it turned around on him.
Field goes by.
Whoa. Hello, folks.
And Dick Trickle gets turned around. That Mark Colley celebrity race in October, we taped it for TNN last year, and that was a lot of fun as they get the track sweeper out here just a little bit to clean up some of the loose stuff. You ought to come running that. Everybody runs the Legends cars and
I'd love
has a great time.
I plan on being here this year.
I'll tell you, some of these drivers, some of the artists have a great deal of talent behind a race car. Tracy Lawrence had never been in a race car. He did a heck of a job.
Alan Jackson really surprised us. He come from the back right to the front. I mean, he can drive.
Well, I look forward to it. I'd like to see what I could do. I'd like to get John up here, too. We'd have a little grudge match.
I would think so. Good. Well, stay with us for a bit. We're going to take a pause here from Nashville Speedway USA. 81 laps are complete. We're working the 5th caution of the day for Dick Trickle's spin.
Today's exclusive coverage of the BellSouth Mobility Opryland USA 320 on TNN is brought to you by the more than 1,250 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts.
Still working caution here at Nashville Speedway USA. The track sweeper's out, trying to get some of that loose stuff up out of the outside of the corners. Brand new racing surface here. First time the 3,300-pound Busch cars have had a chance to run here, so you can see a little work being done to get things back into a raceable shape. Number of pit stops under this caution. Jeff Purvis was just in. They ran the string down the right side of the car, trying to get it realigned after that brush that he had with Randy LaJoie.
Mike, you can see the dust there where the sweeper's going. I mean, it's pretty intense.
Okay. So a couple laps of this and we'll be okay. Time for today's AutoZone Tech Fact, brought to you by the more than 1,250 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, best parts in auto parts. Here's Randy Pemberton.
Well, computer technology continues to embrace the sport of NASCAR Busch and Winston Cup racing. This Cindy Monsum up here, she's on top keeping lap times and other information that she's calculating for Hermie Sadler on the racetrack. Her husband is the crew chief, John, on the car. Now, John, because of the volume, doesn't like to bother her up there and talk to her. So what he can do is come down here to this computer. He has NASCAR scoring in here at all times. Also, on this monitor, he can figure out lap times from where Hermie is running, comparatively speaking, to the leader. They can also ascertain other information such as their fuel mileage and several other things. So the computer technology continues to grow in NASCAR Busch and Winston Cup racing.
And the Munsums were a pretty happy bunch here Friday. As Cindy learned yesterday, they're expecting.
You can see Hermie's been in. That's a little tire mark right there on the number 1 there. Quite a few of these cars are showing a little badge of courage out here already.
There's Hermie hard at work.
That's the drinking tube that he has right on the front of the helmet with the plastic running down to his drink bottle there. It's a little fresh water as he runs along.
And you can see him weaving that car back and forth to keep the tires clean of debris. We're at 85 laps. The sweeper's just trying to finish up here, so we'll be right back to Nashville after this. Those green hats wave in the air, and the green flag is about to here at Nashville. 87 laps complete. Kenny Wallace brings them slowly out of turn 4. Now we're racing. Curtis Markham tried to get a jump, couldn't do it. Back to turn 1.
See Mike Waltrip there in the 12 car just under Phil Parsons. Phil's on the outside there. You can see even with the sweeping, it's still slick out there.
Back under green. And again, Kenny Wallace, great restart. 3-car length lead he has over Curtis Markham. Rodney Combs now up to 3rd. David Green is 4th. 5th is Larry Pearson. And 6th is Bobby Labonte. Then it's Todd Bodine, Mike Waltrip, the 10 is Phil Parsons, and Joe Bessie. David Green in that Caterpillar 95 putting the pressure on Rodney Combs for 3rd place.
Well, you see Rodney Combs is very, very good in the corners there. He's not gaining any, but I believe Green might have just a little more straightaway speed. You see him look to the inside, down the back straightaway. Couldn't quite make the move.
That's been a good passing place today, down at the entrance of turn 3. And right behind them, Dick Trickle has gone a lap down in the Duralube Chevy. He is right in David Green's tire tracks.
See Trickle there. He starts closing up on David Green down the back straightaway. Rodney Combe on the outside. He took another look. Rodney shut the doors. They go into turn 3.
That's a tight pack of cars. There's 8 of them, bumper to bumper, out of turn 4. Meanwhile, Kenny Wallace and Curtis Markham, left side of your screen, they've taken off. They've left that battle well behind them. And Rodney Combs has taken over 3rd.
There's no doubt in my mind that Curtis Markham might be faster than Kenny Wallace because he has run him down some 15, 20 car lengths.
Just a lap or so ago at the start-finish line. Here's what happened.
Oh.
Car brushing and bouncing off the wall there. And very slow down the back straightaway is Glenn Allen Jr. There was a spin at turn 2. That was Allen, but he's got it going again and will have no caution. The car that brushed the wall was number 25, Johnny Rumley.
You can see Johnny went a lap down to the leader then. Kenny Wallace got under him. Curtis Markham still putting the pressure on Kenny Wallace as they start down the back straightaway.
Joe Bessie's car has kind of lost the handle. He's caught up in that high groove now. And David Green just got bumped by Dick Trickle and kicked up to the top groove as they enter turn 3. Lost a couple of spots there in the running order. Leaders back to turn 1. Kenny Wallace and Curtis Markham. They now have a straightaway on the rest of the field.
Mike, just a while ago, Dick Trickle was back in the pack. It didn't look like he could run at all. This is what track position does. You see him moving up on Rodney Combs. He's as fast as anybody. Now that he's gotten out of that big pack of cars back in the middle part of the pack here.
He is a lap down. Remember, Combs is still on the tires with which he started the race.
Oh, you can tell it, too. The back end on that car was jumping back and forth as he started down the back straightaway off of turn 2.
They dive underneath the crippled car of Johnny Rumley.
Rodney coming across the racetrack. He does not want to give up that inside groove. He knows Trickle's a lap down. He's going to make him earn it. Trickle's coming to the inside as we speak.
Dick Trickle moves on past Rodney Combs. He's going to drag David Green. Caterpillar Chevy with him, and now Combs is going to get freight trained. He's up in that high groove. Uh-oh. Larry Pearson and Combs get together, and behind them around goes Parsons. And everybody stacks up out of turn 4. That will bring out the caution.
Well, how many?
See, this is a little tougher to follow because the Dukes only had 1 or 2 car wrecks.
Man, this is like bumper cars out here today.
That is just like when on it. If you've been out in L.A. when they have somebody have a little bumper tag out there, one car starts it and 25 get in it. That's what happens on short track.
It's amazing.
Let's show you what happened here.
Well, the guys who started aren't the ones who end up in trouble.
Well, right here's the trouble. You see there, Larry Pearson gets into the side of Combs, and behind him,
everything backed up, and Phil Parsons had to spin. Around went the 40 car of Tim Fedowa, the Kleenex machine, and everybody else scatters for running room.
Boy, McLaughlin made a great move there. That's him in the back part of the screen there in the 34. He just barely got by.
Now, if you were a bird sitting on the fence, here's what you would have seen.
The bird would be all right on the fence as the people coming at him.
Oh, somebody got up into the wall there. Was that Hermie? Yes, it was. Hermie Sadler popped the wall there from turn 1. Yeah, Sadler had to go up high to miss Parsons, and he did catch the wall.
That was Chad Little in the green and yellow car there that just made it through there.
In the leader's pit, Randy Pemberton.
Well, he waited as long as he could to take on 4 tires, but the leader, Kenny Wallace, is in. We'll see what he can do with lap traffic. So far, he's had a clear run. Down and away, a great pit stop for him, but he's got a long way to go to get back to the front now, like some of those other guys did when they pitted earlier.
Buddy, the importance of track position, not a mark on that car when you're up front running away from all the action.
Well, I've always liked that breath of fresh air in the front, believe me.
All right, pit stops continue under caution. We'll recap them when we come back. You're watching Busch Racing live on the Nashville Network. A lot of damage on Randy LaJoie's car. The championship-winning Base Motorsports team of a year ago comes into pit stall number 1. Steve Bird, Billy Naswitz, that crew going to have a lot of work to do to get Randy back into contention. There you see some of the damage and the 200-mile-an-hour tape that is being applied to hold the front end of that car together. Let's show you what happened again as Hermie Sadler saw it and the wall. In slow motion. That's Fedua going around. There's Parsons. Ooh, and there's the wall.
Well, he had a choice there. Hit Phil Parsons in the left for a quarter or go up and graze the wall. He did the right thing.
And he is still running as we get set for the restart. 103 of 320 laps complete. Riding along with Sadler there, who is on the lead lap in 28th place. Now there's Jeff Fuller's crew coming down to the aid of their car, which is stopped at the end of pit lane. And some of the track crew trying to help. Looks like they're going behind the wall. Tough day for last year's Rookie of the Year in the Sunoco Chevy. Getting set for the green.
You see Trickle there. He's made up one lap there. He's on the inside and he's got that preferred line. Now watch how well he runs now that he has that track position. But our race leader there is David Green now.
Dick Trickle is on the tail end of the lead lap in car number 64. David Green in the Caterpillar Chevy from Buzz McCall's American Equipment Racing has the lead. McCall, veteran of the Trans Am War, second season in Busch Series racing.
That was Sterling Marlin in the 22 car there. Fedua looked under him. He cut the door on him. He just said, oh, no, you're not putting me in that second lane.
Tim Fedua has come up through the field. Marlin dives it in there, and it sticks. Gutsy move, Sterling Marlin. Jason Keller running slow. He's headed for pit road with the hood up over the windshield. And David Green going to drift back a few spots now as Sterling Marlin takes the lead.
Whoa, Jason Keller's hood flown up and just knocked the windshield. I guarantee you it broke everything back in that area. It wrapped right around the top of the car. How much do you think he could see?
The nightmare continues for Jason Keller. Back up front. Trickle on the tail end of the lead lap.
That's Fedua in the 40 car there, the Kleenex car, as he moves into second. He is flying around this racetrack. I don't think he's led a lap this year, but he's a very talented race car driver.
Dennis Setzer brings the Lipton T car back into the race. He'd been overheating a bit. Nemechek moving in. He's on the lead lap in third place. David Green now back to fourth. Doug Hevron, Chad Little. And back at the battle where Rodney Combs is in 17th place with Kenny Wallace. Those cars that took on tires. Larry Pearson is there.
That's Jim Bound in the 51 there. He's moving over and letting the guys go there.
Yeah, he's already, I believe, 2 laps down. In the 51 car, the Lux Foods machine.
Oh, you can see that Joe Bessie's car got completely sideways coming off turn 4. Great catch.
It's getting tight up front. Bumper to bumper. Tim Fedua in the Doug Taylor number 40 and Marlin.
See Fedua there. He's all over Sterling Marlin's back quarter panel, but he can't make the move. Sterling's really quick down the straightaway as Nemechek moves in here to make it a 3-car battle right now. Now that's track position. Nemechek was about to go a lap down just a few minutes ago, and now he's up here fighting.
Larry Pearson may have a tire rubbing on the right front of the Stanley Tools Chevy. Let's show you how it got banged up there. Down to the inside on Combs. And Pearson just runs out of bottom groove there. Gets a bit of Rodney Combs and Todd Bodine and Michael Waltrip in the MW Windows Chevy. Or Ford, rather, excuse me.
Mike, I only told you one thing. That's how valuable that lower lane is. You'll pull over on a car and try to shut the door.
All right, Pearson's got a tire flat. He's got to come in. But you see all this banging around? When they say, gentlemen, start your engines, who are they talking to?
Come on
You
now.
see any gentlemen out there?
I'll tell you what, I'll put you in that second lane and drive you down there at 140 miles an hour and see what kind of gentleman you are on the outside.
I like it up here just fine. Thank you. Here's Pearson in the pits. Ryan Pemberton and crew going to have to pull that fender away and get Larry back out there. Two-time series champ.
You see, Nemechek's made a move there. He's gotten by Tim Fedewa for second place, and now he's moving in on Marlin.
Moving in, moving up and under. And just barely into.
Well, catching Sterling and passing him, that's a different story. Catching him might be easy. Here, you can see he took a look on the inside. If he gets by him, he'll have to pass him coming off the corner.
Larry Pearson back in the race. And Chad Little moving in. Now there's Bobby Labonte in that group. This is for the lead. Marlin in the black number 22, the Fred Turner car. Nemechek and Fedewa.
See Nemechek's car getting just a little bit the tail happy there coming out of the corner. That's getting in the throttle real hard, trying to get up off that corner and getting that track. Oh, they make contact down the front straightaway.
Goodbye, Sterling. And he saved it. What a job.
Tim Fedewa was very lucky there. He did a great job of missing that wreck.
No caution flag. And that is too bad for Marlin. The yellow would have caught him up to the field.
I would imagine that Dick Trickle was kind of hoping that would be a caution. You see, we're riding down the back straightaway with him.
That would bring him around. Let's show you what happened here.
See, Nemechek already got sideways. He corrected the car, got into Sterling. Sterling turns around. Look how close Chad Little there. The third car, the green and yellow car, come almost T-boning Sterling Marlin down the front straightaway.
Everybody gets away. And look at Nemechek is still loose. Now Kenny Wallace led about the first 100 laps of this race, just came in and took on tires, and Wallace has fought his way all the way back up to 7th place already. That black car is the class of the field so far.
In the brick fight, he has a brick, not a pebble. You can believe that.
Wallace closing up on Mike McLaughlin. Wallace, he's passed David Green now. Green back to 6th. Kenny led from lap 9 to lap 100. We're at lap 122 right now.
You want to see a car work. Mike McLaughlin there is a very, very talented race car driver. He's catching him like he's not even on the throttle.
Back to the front of the field. Joe Nemechek in 87, the BellSouth Mobility Chevrolet. And Dick Trickle struggling to stay on the lead lap now. Hermie Sadler just in front.
Look at Kenny making that move on the inside. He couldn't quite do it. Mike McLaughlin come off a perfect line off the corner.
Oh, and around goes Green. David Green. 2 cars involved. Randy Porter, UniFirst Uniforms. Number 48 Ford is the car that's in the fence after he and David Green got together.
That'll give Dick Trickle his lap back. He hadn't quite gotten lap back under there, so he'll make up that full lap and start at the tail end of the lead lap. So that's why they fight like that, to stay in just in front of the leader. You don't have to pull away from him. You need to stay in the front.
I'll show you what happened here between David Green in 95 and Randy Porter's number 48.
Looked like Randy Porter got into the side of
David Green
there coming out of the corner and just turned him around there. I'm sure he didn't mean to do it, but there was contact. See, he's got him in the left rear quarter there. He turns him sideways. Randy tries to go the outside, but Green comes right up in front of him.
So the hits just keep on coming here at Nashville. 7th caution of the day at lap 125. We'll be right back. If you've got a computer and a modem, you need to get to NASCAR online on the World Wide Web at NASCAR.com. You'll find schedules and track information, qualifying and race results, point standings, garage information, driver and team bios, and question and answer sessions with your favorite NASCAR personalities. It's NASCAR's official website. Dial it up today. You know, in all those years of Dukes of Hazzard, I never saw a tire mark on the side of the General Lee.
No, we usually jumped over them.
Yeah.
Man, I see Rodney Combs' car. They're still trying to get that front end out so it's not rubbing. There it goes.
A lot of tape on the front of that one. There's a couple of, what'd you call them, buddy? Badges of courage?
Yep, that's it.
Just about everybody's got them now.
It's almost impossible to run a short track without making a little contact.
Now here is David Green's car. You see the damage on the left rear. Randy, what does that mean?
Well, what it meant, they've made 2 pit stops. What it meant when they originally pitted, they couldn't get any fuel in whatsoever. So it all ended up on pit road. They dumped the whole tank as we get ready to go green. They finally came back in, pulled some sheet metal away, got the fuel in. David Green's back out there. Let's see who hits pit road under the next caution.
All right, back to green. Kenny Wallace makes a move on Mike McLaughlin. Not this time. That's for 5th place. And Joe Nemechek got a good restart.
See, Larry Pearson, never mind, we'll go back to the action here. Larry Pearson's got a lot of damage to the right front of his car. He's up on the high side of the racetrack, just riding around trying to stay out of everybody's way. Nemechek got a great start, but Chad Little worked his way all the way back up to 2nd, Mike. He's making a real run at the lead here.
Has a little extra bump in the nose there on Chad Little's car. More of a bump than Mike Tyson got last night, but that was a fight? I don't know. This is a better one. In 3rd, Tim Fedewa. In 4th, Doug Hevron. In 5th, Mike McLaughlin. In 6th, Kenny Wallace. Those 4 cars on your screen from Fedewa on back.
And Kenny Wallace and his brother's right behind him.
Now look at Doug Hevron 75. The right side of that car is perfectly clean and the left side's all used up. That'll happen.
It'll happen every time on this racetrack today. I'll guarantee you, if you get caught on that outside, you're not going to give them a full lane to get by you. You're going to use about half of that lane to stay in the racetrack.
Kenny Wallace's car unscathed. Here's your Napa Auto Parts field standing update. Napa, we keep America running. Well, here's how they're running. 133 laps. Great battle for 3rd place. Look at Kenny Wallace right up and under McLaughlin. Now Tim Fedewa in the 40 car got tires on lap 56. Doug Hevron in the 75 got them 25 laps later.
Mike McLaughlin looks to the inside of Hevron but cannot make it go. You see Kenny Wallace there in the 8 car. He's got an extremely fast car, but not enough to make the move on the inside.
And I think Wallace has the newest tires in that group. There's Terry Labonte right with him. The Actron number 5.
I think it gets close. It don't get any closer than this. That's right.
Yeah, you couldn't put a tab top between those 2 cars. Now Hevron makes the move. Not that time.
Tim Fedewa said, I don't think so. I'm going to stay right where I'm at and use all this racetrack that I can. Oh, Johnny Rumley's in the wall.
2nd brush with the fence for Rumley. This is right between turns 1 and 2, and caution will come out. Lap 138 we're working. This will be the 8th caution of the afternoon. Well, they're wearing green, but it's been a yellow kind of day here in Nashville, Tennessee. 138 laps complete. We'll be right back. You're watching Busch Series Racing live on the Nashville Network.
Today's exclusive coverage of the BellSouth Mobility Opryland USA 320 on TNN is brought to you by Pep Boys, 26,000 items at the guaranteed low price. Tires and service too, everything but gas. And by Peerless Faucet. Get more out of your faucet than just water.
Tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern, what happened to the Indy cars in Rio? What happened to Mike Skinner and Jeff Bodine at the halfway point of the truck race? And that thrilling finish won by Dave Rezendes. You'll see it all on race day right here on TNN at 11 p.m. Eastern. Highlights of all the weekend's big events. Here in Nashville, Mike Joy with Buddy Baker, Randy Pemberton on pit road, and Tom Wopat, our special guests. Well, we've had some green flag racing, but just not those long extended runs of it so far.
Well, I tell you, you know, it's just, I would think it'd be really hard for them to get any kind of rhythm going. I know they had, 22 laps at the start of the race, and then the 22 laps between 104th and 126th, but sheesh, that's hardly enough to even get a feel for it.
I would think so. David Green is back in. A lot of damage to Randy LaJoie's car. They're pushing Jason Keller's number 57. And he's going to go behind the wall. Randy Porter completes a lengthy pit stop. The hood may go up on, no, they're just taping up Hermie Sadler's hood. Larry Pearson is back in for damage control. There's David Green's crew.
Mike, they're working pretty hard on that left side on David Green's car, so apparently he had quite a bit of damage there.
Johnny Rumley wanted a push start. Car wouldn't fire, so they're towing it in. David Green pulls away, and how much duct tape does it take? Lots.
That looks like your suitcase.
looks like one of your suits. 142 laps complete, folks. We'll be right back. Opryland USA, sponsor of today's race and the official destination of NASCAR. For information on Opryland, call weekdays 615-889-6611. Randy Pemberton.
Well, Jason Keller has pulled his Slim Jim Chevy behind the wall. NASCAR officials making him move it up and get it out of the way. We'll try and get a word with him. Jason, it looks like last man standing may win. You got your knees buckled, but are you down and out?
I tell you, it's a real shame. I had a decent race car, but you got to smile and just laugh about it and say, hey, today's not our day. We got a little slow start to the season, but hey, we'll be back. Got a great sponsor, Slim Jim, and we're tough. We'll get them a dog.
Done for the day?
We're going to try to let it cool down and get some laps.
That's it from Jason Keller. Wow.
Thanks, Randy. Only 5 cars out of the race thus far, so that strategy may pay off in the point department.
Mike, you see Chad Little there. He's running hot. When he made his pit stop, you see him coming back in again. You see some damage on the nose of the car there. They're opening it up, trying to get more air into the radiator, but he was running hot. There was steam coming out of the overflow just in back of the right rear tire.
So Chad Little comes pit side once again. As he stops, you'll see that puddle. It's just under the car there, and they're going to go under the hood to see if whatever hit that grill caused any further damage. Earlier today, if you didn't see it live on TNN, let's show you the finish of the Craftsman Truck Series race, the season opener. 16 is Ron Hornaday. He gets underneath Dave Rezendes, makes the pass, slides up. That's Jack Sprague getting into the back of Rezendes. Hornaday straightens it out. So now they're 1, 2, 3 with Ron Barfield fourth. Coming off the corner, running for the flag, Sprague gets a run on Rezendes. Dave comes down to block. They make contact. Rezendes wins it. Sprague comes across the line second and spins. Hornaday is third. Barfield is fourth. Wow, what a season that's going to be.
I had to do that one time with you up here with us.
That's right. I needed some cop cars out there. We'll be business.
Buddy, don't sing.
No, don't sing.
I won't drive, you don't sing. There you go.
We need to get you in a Legends car for that Mark Colley celebrity.
Oh, that'd be fun. You'd be fun.
That would just be a blast.
Everybody give me a lesson or two.
Oh, they would.
The hood is up on Chad Little's car. Here's Randy.
Harold Holly and the guys, you can see the car overheating. They're trying to cool it off as best they can with the water. Temp 260 degrees. I don't think this one will live all day.
Chad Little goes back out as we get set for the restart in 1 lap. Chad Little 17th in the points, 221 back of leader David Green. Mike McLaughlin gets tires on the Royal Oak Charco number 34. Clyde McLeod.
Mike, it's going to be pretty close. They're jacking up the left side now. As you can see, the pace car is coming off turn 2 and down the back straightaway. They're really going to have to hurry to get it. Oh, great stop. He's back underway.
Not quite to the halfway point here in Nashville. Well, interesting strategy. Load of fuel and new tires just as we're ready to go back to green. And a long way to go for McLaughlin. Joe Nemechek is the man on the point. His car was running very loose in that last green flag run. Tim Fedowa is second. Doug Hebron third. Kenny Wallace is up to fourth. Terry Labonte fifth. Todd Bodine sixth. Bobby Labonte seventh. Phil Parsons eighth as we go back to green. Ninth is Glenn Allen and 10th Mike Wallace. Back racing at Nashville. And Nemechek got a good restart, but Fedowa is right with him. Todd Bodine trying underneath Terry Labonte, and Labonte is going to give him a little room. You notice there's not a mark on Terry Labonte's number 5.
Well, Terry's doing what you have to do here. He's staying out of trouble. If somebody really pressures him, you see Bobby Labonte, his brother, move right in behind him there. If he gets in trouble, he'll just wait a little bit. He's a very cool customer.
Too early for all that framming and bamming to be going on.
It's hard to drive him with the right front wheel against the front of the car back there with it bent all up.
Don't tell that to Kenny Wallace. Here he comes for third place. Slices underneath Doug Hebron at the entrance of turn 3, and that Red Dog can hunt. He's up to third place.
No, did you say that again?
And that car's pretty clean looking.
The dog is unleashed. That's what they say here. Kenny Wallace is flying around this racetrack. He's caught Fedowa now, trying to move into second spot. This car is like it's on a string.
Wallace drops to the inside on Fedowa's Kleenex Ford. And second changes hands. Look at how quickly he closes down on Joe Nemechek. Wallace is flying.
Boy, that's a bad feeling when you're leading a race and you look in the mirror and it's just a dot back there. The first time you look, and the next time you have the whole front end in that one mirror when you look back. Look at Kenny now.
He's trying to take him in the back stretch.
Straightaway, yeah.
Kenny Wallace got a run off turn 2 and made the dive into turn 3. That's where most of the passing has been done today. Forced the other car to use the high groove.
Like somebody slapped his face when he stopped a while ago. This guy's on a move here.
And he's gone. In one lap, he's opened up 4 car lengths on Nemechek. Now here is Fedowa, Hebron, and Todd Bodine battling.
It's good to see Doug Hebron in the 75 car running as well as he is today. Very talented race car driver. You see him making a move on Tim Fedowa down the back straightaway. He's got a lot of race car today, but he's being cautious, I think.
Larry Pearson in the middle of that group in the Stanley Tools 92, 2 laps down. Everybody else there fighting for position.
Doug Hebron makes a move on the inside there. Fedowa makes a move pretty easy. Todd Bodine comes with him. Bobby Labonte is now underneath Fedowa, but couldn't make the stick.
But Todd Bodine is not settling for 4th. He wants Doug Hebron. What he wants most for that 81 team is a sponsor. They started the season with a sponsor, but problems developed, and the hood and quarter panels are bare on that number 81. They want to run the whole series, but need a sponsor to do it. Here's Bobby Labonte getting underneath Fedowa. Terry Labonte, the number 5, following suit. Move Terry up to 6th place.
Terry's car there looks like he come off the showroom floor. The rest of them have donuts all over the doors and everything else. I think he's just biding his time. He has a very good race car.
Coming up on halfway next time by. 160 of 320 laps. Terry Labonte right now sitting in 7th place. We asked Terry Labonte about the new surface here. Most drivers like it, but Labonte, he has a fondness for the old Nashville Speedway.
I don't know. You know, we had a good run here last time. I wish they wouldn't have paved it. I like the old track better. It was a little bit tougher on tires, and you kind of had to pace yourself a little bit. I think with the new asphalt, it's kind of bunched everybody up pretty good, and all the cars are running pretty close to the same speed, so it's going to be really hard to pass, and we'll just have to wait and see.
Labonte leading this pack is in 6th place. That's Phil Parsons right behind in the number 10. Parsons in 7th, Allen in 8th. Let's go up to the 2nd place battle. Nemechek trying to hold them off.
Doug Hevron run Nemechek down, and he plays right in on his rear trunk there, but Todd Bodine's on a mission right now. You know, anytime you lose your sponsor, that makes a little front straightaway.
Kevin LePage loops it around. Mike Dillon takes evasive action.
Kenny Wallace gets by there.
No caution flag.
Race leader had to get through there. Kenny Wallace was bearing down on him when he spun around there, made a great move.
And LePage also sponsor hunting. Sammy Ellis, new crew chief on the number 71 of Kevin LePage out of Vermont. He goes a lap down with that spin. There's Terry Labonte and Michael Waltrip moving past. Let's show you what happened here to Kevin LePage.
He gets touched on the left rear corner, and that gets the car loose. He comes down the front straightaway, tries to recover, couldn't quite do it. It took a set back to the right and spun around.
Looks like he and Elton Sawyer might have gotten together there. Sawyer is driving because Patty Moise has a fractured tibia, fractured bone in her left leg right at the knee joint, and will be out until at least Darlington. She's here at the racetrack. You saw a shot of her earlier standing up and watching the show. Tim Fedewa moves underneath LePage there, and just ahead of them there's that Labonte, Waltrip, and Jeff Purvis. Purvis, despite his pit stops, has stayed on the lead lap.
You know, Mike, he's running a good race. He's had terrible track position most of the race, but the car seems to be as fast as the leaders, but he just does not have track position at the moment.
Purvis 6th in the points. Michael Waltrip in that Ford with MW windows that Terry Labonte had on his car last year. Michael's Busch Series race deal for this year came together very suddenly.
We're just real proud to have this team together. It's been kind of unfair for me to ask out of Ronnie Silver and the guys on the team what I have so far. We didn't even have a car in the middle of December, and we're running the first 7 in a row. So been a lot of long hours, and I hate it for them, but we'll make it up to them.
Michael battling Terry Labonte. Looks like he's going to move up into 6th place here.
Well, once he got the position, Terry Labonte always knows where everybody's at on the racetrack. When Michael made the move on the inside, he just let him go. You see, he's just as fast, but he wasn't about to make a contest out of that on the outside.
Todd Bodine inside of Nemechek, and they might have traded a little paint at the front of that pack. And here's Michael trying to move up. Kenny Wallace, runaway leader. 2.8 seconds. That's the advantage. There's Bobby Labonte, who's been moving up well. Nemechek has dropped back several spots pretty suddenly here.
See Todd Bodine there. That looks like, what does that number look like? That's tire marks on there. This 81 is the number on the car. He's running quite well now.
And he has cleared traffic. Todd is in 3rd place. You saw Bobby Labonte move before him. Doug Hevron is the 5th place car. 6th is Phil Parsons. 7th is Michael Waltrip. 8th is Terry Labonte. 9th is Jeff Purvis, and Nemechek has slid to 10th.
Todd Bodine has moved all the way up into 2nd spot now, and he actually is catching Kenny Wallace.
Todd Bodine got tires at lap 101, so his are pretty fresh. Jason Keller comes back into the race. We'll be right back. We're back in Nashville, and we're under caution. Jeff Purvis, going into turn number 3, may have cut down a right front tire. The car just shot up and slammed the wall in turn 3. Came around and stopped here at turn 4. Now he's already hit the wall in 3. Right up and into the fence. Now Tim Fedewa will spin his car right there off of Sterling Marlin, and that stacks everything up at the bottom of the racetrack. Tending to Jeff Purvis there as leader Kenny Wallace comes on to pit road along with most of the cars on the lead lap. Wallace is away. Quick stop. Todd Bodine's going to beat him out though. And Bodine will be the first of the cars that pitted to come back on the racetrack. Well, Tom Wopat, thanks for being with us. Good luck with your show, Primetime Country. I see Steve Warner's coming on your show shortly. I saw in the promos. He's going to do a big benefit concert for those folks that have been raising some funds, including the Green brothers up there in Owensboro, a fellow who got injured in a car accident. Steve's going to go perform a benefit concert there, and he's a big race fan, I know.
Yeah, I talked to him before the race today, and he's going to be on the show tomorrow night along with Tammy Wynette. So we're going to have a good bunch, and they're going to do that thing up in Owensboro Wednesday night, I believe.
I hope everybody will go up there and help raise a little money. Steve's name is on the side of Mike Waltrip's car today. Tom, thanks for being with us.
My pleasure.
Okay, we'll be right back to Nashville after this. This is the Springhouse Golf Course at Opryland, home of the BellSouth Seniors Classic. I think Bill Madden of our staff will be teeing off there about 10 a.m. tomorrow. Great golf course. If you're in Nashville, you ought to take a shot at it. We're going to take a shot at getting back to green flag racing here. Glad to have Tom Wopat stop by. Clay Hare owns a Legends car that races here in Nashville. Tom, you've got a ride for the Mark Colley Celebrity Race. You're in his car. So gauntlet's been laid down. Here we go.
For the Jeff Purvis fans out there, they are working on the car. They're going to try to get him back in there because he is way up in the points. So they're working on the car, trying to get him back out there.
6th place point man Purvis. Green flag, Curtis Markham, the Lysol Pontiac at the front of the field. Second time he's led today. Larry Pearson trying to get a lap back. Side by side out of 2, and whoa.
You see Chad Little there. He was running 260 degrees on water a while ago. He worked his way all the way back up to the front. 10 feet of water, way high there. You see him, he almost got into the wall in the middle part of turn 3.
And Dick Trickle quietly has come up through the field to 4th place. One caution ago, he was on the tail end of the lead lap. There's Fedewa.
You see Larry Pearson making up one of his laps. Chad Little comes under. We have a new leader.
Chad Little comes to the lead for only the 2nd time this season. He led 1 lap at Daytona. Been 7 months since he had a top 10 finish. Maybe today's the day. That was Bristol in August of '95 when he finished 4th. McLaughlin now right on the bumper of Curtis Martin. And that's Jeremy Mayfield, the black 98 car. Another of the hometown heroes. It's Bob McDonald's North Martin Star Motorsports machine.
But there's trouble in the background back there. Kenny Wallace just changed tires. You've seen him making a 3 wide down the front straightaway there in the 8 car. He is flying around this racetrack. That's what new tires do for you. Todd Bodine was fighting for the lead not long ago. You see Kenny Wallace just go up there and make the move without any problem at all.
Jeremy Mayfield puts Chad Little back a spot.
Mike McLaughlin did also in the 34 car.
Now you're watching from Dick Trickle, little tire rub there as he and Chad Little get together. Kenny Wallace is coming hard. So is Terry Little. Oh, hard to the wall. Mike Wallace just pasted the wall in turn 3.
He's putting down a lot of fluids. I'm sure the yellow will be out.
Look how far back the right front is pushed. Mike Wallace just hammered the wall. And hard.
Wow.
Barry Owen Duron Paints Ford, I think, is going to go to the garage. Look at how far that rear end has moved over as well. Buddy, that was a hard shot.
Well, I tell you what, you can tell by the angle of the right front corner there how hard he did hit it. Once you go up like that and start towards, yeah, it's knocked the rear end housing completely out from the wheel well there and in the back.
A scary moment for the St. Louis, Missouri driver Mike Wallace. The window net's down. He is okay.
Yeah, they drop that window net to let the safety crews and all know that they're safe. That's a cue to them. They don't have to run over to see how you're doing.
In last year's race here at Nashville, there were 8 caution flags. We've had 10 already today, and we're at lap 186. Put the lid on that can. Put it in the truck. He just drove right on past his pits. And if it'll steer.
Yeah, that's amazing he can drive it thing, because you know the right side's not going to turn or move or do anything else.
Well, this can, yep, he's going to make it around and clear pit road. 10th caution of the day, a hard hit by Mike Wallace. Fortunately, he is okay. And Larry Pearson made up a lap.
Today's exclusive coverage of the BellSouth Mobility Opryland USA 320 on TNN is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. At Napa, we keep America running.
.30 laps past halfway, 130 laps to go here at Nashville Speedway USA. Mike Wallace took a walk over to David Green's car and was a bit upset, or over to David Green's crew. Now speaking with one of the NASCAR officials, here's Randy.
Well, we've caught up with Mike. Mike, what happened?
That's real simple. David Green's got a bulldozer sponsor, so he decided to drive like it, you know. I mean, this was a patience racetrack today. I mean, we were just riding. It was only 170 laps in the race. It's a 320 lap race. I give him the inside. He was all the way up to my left front fender, and he just drilled us. I mean, it's a shame. I mean, I guess it's great for a sponsor to know how good their equipment holds up, but there was no reason in it. No reason at all. He drives like an idiot, or drove like an idiot. You know, it's a shame for us. Duron Paints, Halleck Myers, Ford Thunderbird. We were just being patient. The whole day, it was just patience, patience, patience. The racetrack's coming apart. It's miserable to race on out there. And so he turned her into one of them D8 cats and blowed us away.
Could he have gotten into some loose stuff and got up into you or not?
No, he was on the bottom of the racetrack. You know, I give him the bottom groove. We were all on too good of tires for, it was a stupid moves, all it was.
Okay, we're going back to green. Quick update on Jeff Purvis. He's in the infield care center complaining of left side ribs that are paining him right now as the 63 car Curtis Markman goes down the backstretch.
Tim Fedewa trying to get back up there with him. But Fedewa is 1 lap down in that Kleenex number 40 car. Tough end of the day for Mike Wallace. Mike McLaughlin's the 2nd place car. Dick Trickle is 3rd. Kenny Wallace right there in 4th spot. Todd Bodine is 5th. Terry Labonte 6th. Joe Nemechek 7th. Doug Hebron 8th. Then Bobby Labonte and Phil Parsons.
You know, Mike, it hadn't been but about 30 laps ago that Dick Trickle were fighting to get back in the lead lap, and here he is all the way back up to 3rd place.
Right, buddy. He had fresh tires on. The caution came out. He came around the track, and he has come through the field.
Curtis Markham's got his hands full with the Fedewa there, trying to move by on the inside.
Tim Fedewa got tires at lap 176. Markham's last tires came at lap 139. Fresh tires make the difference right here as Fedewa gets back on the lead lap. Now, Dick Trickle is dropping back. Those tires may have been used up in that run to the front. He's in the high groove, and you can see him getting freight trained on the bottom side, folks. It doesn't just happen in the draft on super speedways. It can happen on these short tracks as well.
See David Green's car there had quite. Larry Pearson's really running quite well right now. He had a lot of right front damage. They went in and worked on the car. He's running very well. You see him helping Dick Trickle through the corner just a little bit.
Does that help?
Well, that's just to let you know, hey, I'm running pretty good, Trickle. If you're having a little problem, let's move.
And that's what happened. Now, Larry, on that last caution, Larry Pearson got 1 of his 2 laps back, so he is 1 lap down of the leader, as is Jeremy Mayfield. There's Mayfield in the black 98 upside of Todd Bodine.
Terry Labonte in the 5 stars comes along. Joe Nemechek in the 87 as they start down the back straightaways. They're 2 by 2, but then when they get down to the corner, you notice they try to get back in single file.
Let's listen in on Mayfield. Nemechek slowed up.
Single file, so no chatter from the spotter. Now, if Nemechek comes up, you'll hear him come in and talk to Jeremy, but Jeremy's closing down on Terry Labonte.
Terry's a very patient guy, but he's on the move right now. I think Todd Bodine at the moment has lost a little bit of the handle he had earlier on, and Terry Labonte is making a nice move.
They move past the crippled car of Randy Porter. And you see, look at Terry Labonte's car. That is as clean as when it started the race. Take you back up front. Curtis Markham now has Mike McLaughlin and Kenny Wallace right there.
Boy, Kenny Wallace, if anybody got an award today for passing the most cars, he'd already have it in his back pocket. That car is a rocket ship that Kenny Wallace is driving.
He's passed everybody twice.
You know, his car is very clean, though. You're talking about clean race cars. Kenny Wallace's car also is very clean. It's fast, but he hadn't just run in there and banked off people. He's kept the car basically clean the whole day.
Kenny Wallace up to second spot now. He got tires at lap 101. Curtis Markham is your race leader. Now here is Doug Hevron in 75 and Bobby Labonte in 44. They traded a little paint. A Ford Chevy battle. Phil Parsons in the 10 Chanelot car right there with them. And Mike Waltrip in the number 12 BMW Windows Ford. Now Todd Bodine and Terry Labonte again.
See Terry really giving that steering wheel a whipping coming off the corner there. What happens there is you're trying to gain up on a car and you're a little bit quicker coming up out of the corner and they hesitate for a second. You have to make evasive action pretty quick there.
Those cars, buddy, look pretty evenly matched except right there in the middle of the corner. Well, let's go back up front where Markham now it's going to feel the heat from Kenny Wallace.
Oh, he's going to feel a ton of heat because this car of Kenny Wallace is like a rocket ship. He does not give up anything in the corners. He don't give up anything down the straightaway especially. But look in the corner how he closes in on Curtis Markham. But he has also kept fresh tires on that car, so that's very important. That makes the car look awful fast when you got better tires in the car you're racing.
Curtis Markham came in today in 7th of the points, 11 points behind Jeff Purvis, and Purvis's car is out of the race.
Ooh, Doug Hevron got a little taste of Bobby Labonte down the back straightaway there.
And Mike Waltrip takes advantage. And we're back up front again. Around Mike Dillon's machine that got crippled in one of the early spins today. Kenny Wallace hunting for the lead, and he gets into the back of Markham, and he gets the lead.
Well, as he gets the lead, Markham comes down the racetrack. Kenny goes on. Kenny Wallace has a problem. He switched his ignition boxes just moments ago. The car is misfiring. He just told his crew, guys, it's over, but I'll ride it out. So we'll have to keep an eye on it to see whether or not his engine is souring.
Wow. Fastest car in the field. He thinks he's in trouble.
Well, maybe he is. If he is, Curtis Markham's quit. Because he went by him like he was shot out of a rocket down the back straightaway there. Kenny Wallace's car may be misfired, but it's not apparent to us.
Well, it is, as you watch Terry Labonte closing in, buddy. Terry Labonte is coming hard. Now that Markham has dropped back, Labonte is the second place car.
I just wonder how long it's been misfiring. It couldn't have been misfiring but a couple of laps now because he was flying just a few seconds ago.
Yep, it looks like he's down to 7 cylinders. You can see Labonte has just inhaled that number 8 Ford. Labonte has been careful and cagey all day, but if he takes too long getting past Kenny Wallace, Todd Bodine is right there. And Bodine has not been afraid to wrinkle a fender today. There they are, your leaders down the front straightaway, going around Randy Porter.
You see how far Curtis Markham went back through the field. He needs tires in the worst way. If a caution comes out, boy, it would really play into his head because he's out of tires right now. He's just riding around.
car up in that front group. We understand Joe Nemechek hasn't had tires since lap 56. He's hanging on to a top 5 spot. We'll be right back to Nashville after this, folks. Kenny Wallace's car has been good enough that he's been able to hold on the lead despite what he says is an engine going sour. Randy?
Well, it's been up and down. The car has been misfiring. It did about 5 or 8 laps ago. They flipped the ignition box. All of a sudden, he said it's still not working. Then he said, hey, it's come back to life on me. It's running. Then he went, uh-oh, not really. So we don't know exactly how long this thing's going to live. Right now, he's still holding off Terry Labonte.
Jason Keller's car has been pushed to the garage area, out for the day, overheating. Here's your top 10. Wallace, Labonte, Bodine, Nemechek, and McLaughlin. Phil Parsons, Mike Waltrip, Bobby Labonte, David Green, Curtis Markham. There are 21 cars still on the lead lap here at Nashville. Doug Hevron's 11th. Glenn Allen Jr. is 12th. 13th, still on the lead lap, Randy LaJoie. 14th is Bobby Dotter. And 15th, Elton Sawyer.
Mike, you can see the 20 car there and the 22 car of Sterling Marlin. The whole front end of that car is knocked backwards, so it's just way off the pace. He's just out there making laps right now. Kenny Wallace better hope that he don't get caught up in traffic where he has to kill the motor down. Right now he's keeping momentum. Whoa, got a little help from Chad Little coming off turn 4. But as long as he keeps momentum, he's okay. But I guarantee you, if he ever really has to bog it down, a real good running car will overhaul him down the straightaway.
The top 3 cars, buddy, each got tires on lap 176 during the 8th caution of the day. So they're pretty even as far as tires are concerned. Mike Waltrip battling. Oh, Mike McLaughlin got way up there.
Is it slick? You bet.
Yes, it is. Watch it. Good work by the spotters who are high on the hilltop in turn 1, and everybody gets by. Mike spins it around, and this will bring out the caution flag. Number 11 today.
Boy, Mike McLaughlin was very, very lucky there. I don't think he had any damage to the car at all and did not lose a lap then.
May have just flat spotted some tires.
I wonder if Kenny will come in and work on that car because it is misfiring. Not this lap.
Let me take you a little deeper in the field, folks. Also on the lead lap here. Well, let's first show you the replay.
Mike's up in the high side there. You can see how slick this track is once you get out of the groove. Look at it cross up right here as he starts off the corner. He corrects back. Now it takes a set back towards the outside wall. You better get on the binders there.
Buddy, is that a characteristic of the radial tire? When you try to correct, you'll see McLaughlin try to correct, and then the tire, does it suddenly get a bite and just send the car the other way?
Well, you see he's turned into the slide right there. Now watch it take a set back this way. You're along for the ride then.
Yep. The car undamaged. And Wallace will pit. Labonte will not. Kenny Wallace and Todd Bodine come on to pit road, the 1st and 3rd place cars. And they're going to lift the hood on Wallace. Or are they? Looks like just tires, buddy.
I hadn't seen anybody pull the hood pins yet, but that don't mean they won't.
Randy?
Well, man, they're in a big discussion about it. There's no question about that. Kenny just said that the miss has gone away, but the tires are also gone away. So they're going to put some new skins on it. Up this end of pit road, the top end of pit road, Randy LaJoie is in. The 95 car, David Green, is in, and Bobby Labonte is in as well. Also, Todd Bodine is in. The 8 car of Kenny Wallace is now down and away. So evidently, they're not going to go under the hood. They discussed it right before he came in on pit road. He's off pit road first.
So Kenny Wallace is back on the speedway. Will it run? That's the question we'll try to answer when we come back live to Nashville. Here in Nashville, Opryland USA sprawls along the Cumberland River. Hotel, amusement park, lots of attractions. About a week's worth if you come to visit. And if you come in late June, you'll see the TNN Salute to Motorsports at Opryland, June 26th to 30th. For more information, call weekdays 615-889-6611.
See Hermie Sadler there. He's just riding along, enjoying the ride right now. He's been running as hard as he possibly can. He just hadn't made it up to the front yet.
1 lap down in 24th position. A lot of pit stops under that caution flag as we get set for the restart. Terry Labonte will be the leader. He did not pit.
Well, that proves that Terry Labonte's human. He has hit somebody with the front of that car. It has a little ding on the nose.
It wasn't the pace car, was it?
Might have been.
Hope not. Fans come to their feet for the restart just inside of 100 laps to go. That's Larry Pearson going to try to get his other lap back alongside Labonte. Pearson's got a chance at it, buddy, as they go to turn 3.
He's got a bad line to try to make anything up on Terry Labonte as you see him go through the corner there.
You saw Hermie Sadler slow. He got bounced around on the restart down in turn 1. He's back up to speed.
Well,
but Mike Waltrip is not. Cars are streaming past him going into the corner.
Whoa, we have a car going straight into the wall.
McLaughlin hit it hard.
That in-car camera had that all the way. You could see him going down into turn 1. The right front was already flat and into the wall.
He and Larry Pearson has gotten his lap back, and so perhaps did Jeremy Mayfield. Yes. As the caution comes out, both those cars get the free pass, and they're back on the lead lap. Mike McLaughlin, a hard ride through turn 1. You can see he just locked the brake up and slid it all the way up to and into the concrete. I don't think even big guys going to be able to pull that fender out. Let's see what happened.
Okay, you see Mike right there making a little contact with the 55 car, Bobby Dotter. He goes the length of the front straightaway. You can see the fire flying out from under the car's right front flap. Oh, that's a hard lick.
That hurts up here.
Whew. Been there, done that.
McLaughlin 12th in points coming in today. Here's what Hermie Sadler saw down the front straightaway.
Oh, it's already rubbing there. You can see it dragging the bag way back up the straightaway and into the wall. Mike, I'm not going to speculate, but that looked like a suspension part had already broken way back up the straightaway and got into the inside of the tire.
And who got into Terry Labonte? Damage on the right front of the Actron Chevy number 5. Randy?
Not sure where that damage came from, if it came from he and Pearson running together or prior to that, but yes, he had a fender rub. May have been one of the reasons he could not get it up to speed. They pulled the fender away. After they changed right side tires, Jackman slings the jack around. Now he's going to get some skins on this thing to ride it out, hopefully the rest of the way. They may end up changing tires one more time at least. So Terry looks like he's down and away. A couple other guys still left on pit road.
Whatever happened to Labonte's right front, it happened after that last green flag was waved. A lot of action on pit road. Larry Pearson in again. McLaughlin's crew working. Rodney Combs, Michael Waltrip.
They're inside Michael Waltrip's car working, so he may have an ignition problem in his car also, because they are inside the car working on it.
Yeah, his car just suddenly went to the back, buddy. There is Rodney Combs. 3-corner damage on that Lance Snacks number 43 Pontiac. We're under caution again at Nashville. We'll be right back. Mike McLaughlin has gone to the garage, and Michael Waltrip sits on pit road with the hood up on his Ford as we go back to green. From the People's Department Store's camera on Hermie Sadler's car, you watch Doug Hebron in the lead, Kenny Wallace in second, Joe Nemechek third, Bobby Labonte, David Green, the point leader. Great run for Glenn Allen today, the rookie. Well, can Kenny Wallace get back to the front like he has done so many times today?
Well, Hermie Sadler's battling really hard right now. And you see Doug Hevron with the lap over car of Sterling Marlin just in front of him, 22 car there. Kenny's not running as fast down the straightaway as he was earlier in the race. I don't know whether he has a problem still or what, but he's not running quite as well down the straightaway as he was before.
Jeff Purvis has just come back into the race. If he can run 14 laps, he'll pick up 3 more positions. That's why he's come back out. And Chad Little.
That's your leader there in the Ford Country car, number 75, Doug Hevron. I'm really glad to see him have a good run. Very talented race car driver. He deserves this kind of run.
They called him the young one at Oswego Speedway, where he stood them on in their ear with his super modifieds in his teens and early 20s. Had success in the NASCAR modified division and then came to Busch Series racing. Back behind the wheel of Charlie Henderson's Food Country car this year. And Kenny Wallace is coming.
He gave him a little introduction to the nose job there. He let Hermes a lap down, so I'm sure he probably looked back and said, I better let him go.
That he did. Now, on the tail end of the lead lap are Chad Little and Sterling Marlin. Just out in front of Hevron, but they do not appear to be holding him up, buddy.
Uh-oh, Kenny Wallace is off the pace.
That's too bad. Randy?
Well, that's what we've been waiting for and speculating on today. He's tried to nurse it, tried to do what he had to do, but they just radioed. They think the motor's done, so we'll have to wait and see.
Wallace not running for Busch Series points. He's going to stay out there and try to get a lead lap finish for Phil Martossi's bunch. Bunch of transplants from Nashville now with that team relocated to Charlotte. Tim Fedowa comes up alongside. Back up front, Hevron has his hands full. Joe Nemechek right there, and Bobby Labonte.
And David Green.
Nemechek's car sponsor is the co-sponsor of this race. So he has a little extra incentive.
Look at Bobby Labonte making a move on Nemechek down the front straightaway. Whoa.
Hevron's used up a little sheet metal today.
Now, if you run well, you have some of that. Even Terry Labonte's got a few marks on his car, so it's that type of race today. The bottom groove is so you have to be there. Oh, Bobby Labonte was into the outside wall. Great catch there.
Now it looks like Sterling might be holding them up just a little bit.
Well, Doug Hevron's doing what he has to do right now. He can't make a mental mistake and try to knock Marlin out of the way or anything else. He's got to wait his time and make a clean move because he is in the place you need to be out front right now. Yep. But he's getting a lot of pressure from Nemechek and them on that rear quarter panel.
Passes Stevie Reeves, involved in an early crash. Yes, because whatever move Hevron makes, everybody else will go the other way. Doug Hevron was so close to his first Busch Series win last year, leading at Dover when the engine expired with just 18 laps to go. Oh, Nemechek and Hevron, did they touch?
Just barely. Doug Hevron still holding on to that inside groove there. Look at Bodine making the move to the outside as they come down the back straightaway. He looks over there. Nemechek closed the door.
But Bodine got around Bobby Labonte on the outside. Here's Nemechek up and under Hevron again. And Bodine all the way to the bottom. There's not any racetrack down there, Todd, not in the corner.
No, that flat part's not much good for racing.
Todd Bodine's car is quick. He just drove right around the outside of Bobby Labonte.
Well, he's thinking about making that move to the outside, but I think he'll think better of it if he sticks that right side out there and he takes off sideways on him one time.
Look at how loose Nemechek's car is again, as it was in the early stage of this race.
Bobby Labonte's sitting there just waiting for anybody to make a mistake. He's got a very fast car.
See Nemechek, he just about lost the car out of turn 4, and Bodine was right there, right alongside.
Now, well, yes, he makes that move. Great forward bite there by Todd Bodine coming off the corner. Nemechek's got a problem. He's got a loose condition he can't live with.
Bobby Labonte uses the lapped car of Mike Dillon as a pick. Kenny Wallace is on pit road. The hood is going up on the Red Dog Ford. For the lead, Todd Bodine inside of Doug Hevron.
See, Bobby Labonte was thinking about making that move, but Hevron seen him in the mirror and moved right over in the groove. And that's what you do. That's your racetrack. If you're in front of a car, you can close that door on him.
Labonte gets a run. And now Bodine wants to go. Sterling Marlin on the tail end of the lead lap. Labonte got underneath Hevron, but not enough. Bodine trying to get past Marlin and put him a lap down. Won't happen this time.
Yeah,
now Marlin gives him room. Yep, gave him room. 15th lead change of the day. Todd Bodine out front. Uh-oh, little brush there.
Now you see Sterling, he stayed out front as long as the lead cars didn't put him that lap back down, but now he's letting them go. He's moved to the outside, and you can see everybody going under him here. Bobby Labonte will tuck right to the bottom and go right by.
But the side-by-side rubbing between Hevron and Marlin has allowed Todd Bodine to disappear.
Bobby Labonte gets by Hevron going into turn one. Now look at David Green. You talk about taking advantage of an opportunity. He just goes right on by Hevron, slides him back another spot.
There's Green in the 95, now pulling down on Labonte. And this battle continues here with Phil Parsons moving past Sterling Marlin. Parsons is on the lead lap. Marlin is not. And Jeremy Mayfield's come back up, or rather that's Glenn Allen, who's had a great race here in the Luxair car. Put up on Tim Fedowa's car, and Kenny Wallace has gone to the garage. Kind of like Tony Walls yesterday, led the first half of the race, but wasn't much around at the finish. 58 laps to go here at Nashville. We'll be right back. Well, out with a bang, it says on the hood. That's the name of David Lee Murphy's CD, and that is what happened to Jeff Purvis today. He's gone out with a bang. The caution incident happened in turn one. It was Randy Porter and I think Larry Pearson. But as the leaders came back toward the flag, well, first let's show you what brought out the caution.
See Randy Porter and Pearson get together there. That brought out the caution. You see Purvis going by here. He's not involved in that part of the wreck.
But here's Todd Bodine coming to the caution and trying to stay on the lead lap is Chad Little. They get together. And here they come. And there goes Purvis. And look at Todd Bodine spin off the front bumper of Chad Little's car and save it.
Good job there. Wow.
David Lee, you better come out with a new CD. I don't think out with a bang is the thing you want on that race car for long. It's a great CD. Dust on the Bottle went #1.
I just feel bad for Purvis. He had absolutely nothing to do with that. He's on the bottom of the racetrack and just got collected.
That's right. He came out because 3 cars were in the garage that had as few as 10 laps more than he did. So he was trying to pick up those positions. He came in here 6th in points. Doug Hevron on pit road there. As Jeff Purvis climbs out, he's okay. James Finch's car is not. Now, as we were under green, Joe Bessie slapped the wall. That did not bring out the caution. Look way up high on the racetrack, top of your screen.
We've seen this before. When you get way high on the racetrack here, the back end breaks loose. He just got up into the outside wall. A lot of damage to the right side of his car.
So we're under caution at lap 270. And we'll take a break here from Nashville, clean things up and make pit stops. Welcome back to Nashville Speedway USA. Wanted to go this time by. Promoter Bob Harmon in honor of St. Patrick's Day, brought in the Nashville Pipe and Drum Band.
It's the old Baker clan.
Are they playing? Is that Rocky Top? Oh gosh, that's our musical director, Michael Dranas. Sometimes mistaken for Paul Schaefer. Every Saturday at 6 p.m. Race Talk is on the air here on the Nashville Network. You get to call in your questions to top stars of NASCAR. Well, let's show you what happened here from the run back to the caution flag. Now 23 is trying to stay on the lead lap.
Okay, Chad collected the brake right there. You see Todd on the very bottom of the racetrack. He slides up. They make contact right there. Chad tries to get it back under control, gets into the side, and then they hit Paul Purvis, who's just out there for a ride. And around goes Todd Bodine, and anybody tells you to keep them locked up till you stop, that's a good argument against it, because he did a great save there.
Let's check with Randy.
Kenny Wells signing an autograph. Kenny, you had him covered.
Well, you know, the Red Dog Square D card, that's all I want to do. I want to thank them because, I mean, we just had to get it on TV to get the sponsors in there. Everybody knows we were the best. What are we going to do, you know? Go to Darlington.
That's it for Kenny Wells. Green flag.
And that may be it for Chad Little. He did not get his lap back from Todd Bodine, as you saw. And coming around the racetrack, slid way up in the marbles, slapped the wall, but he's still running. One lap down. Todd Bodine now has Bobby Labonte to contend with for the lead. Well, will they run a while, or will Bobby go right after him?
Well, Bobby's going to go after him because he's got a mirror full of David Green there in the cat car coming right in third place. David Green is he keeps himself out of big trouble. He's had a couple of little small altercations today. I guess there will be some people that expressed that they weren't real happy with some of the things, but David Green is a very clean race car driver. In contact today, you can see it's not one person out there doing it. Everybody's touched somebody.
There's been a lot of contact. Look at Todd Bodine's car. Look at David Green. Looks like Dr. Denton Fender has been here. Dick Trickle and Doug Hebron battling. That's for 11th place. And right with them, Jeremy Mayfield. Kelton Sawyer just ahead of them in 10th of the Dial Purex Ford. Caution is out. Debris in turn 2 is the reason. So at lap 280, 40 laps to go. Caution comes out for the lucky 13th. No, make this the 14th time today.
Yeah, there's the debris we were talking about. Like a few inner panels and maybe a little bit of a quarter panel.
Just a few winter race cars shedding their winter clothes, getting ready for spring.
You can see the windshields are getting in pretty bad shape too. That's coming off turn 4 there. You go directly into the sun going into turn 3. Now down through here it don't look so bad, but going into 3, those windshields are getting in bad shape.
Track crew out there cleaning up. This may be a brief one. Black flag's going out for Mike Dillon. 33 cars are on the racetrack. 32 have body damage. The only one unscathed is the pace car. Thank you, Greg Fielden. We'll try to get a word with David Green. Racing Electronics has the radios in Green's car, and they're hooked up to us as well. So we'll try to light up that circuit. Let's make sure we're not going to go back with the 1 to go sign this time, and make sure that David is not going to pit, as it looks like most of the leaders are staying out on the racetrack. Before we give a shot to David here. He is the point leader. Came in here with a 63-point bulge on Mark Martin, who is not here. And we're going to stay under caution, so let's give this a try here. David Green, this is TNN. It looks like we've had quite a contact sport today. How's this day gone for you? I've got a transmit light on, and we'll have to double check here. David, this is the Nashville Network. Do you have a copy on us? We'll try it again in a bit.
From the looks of that car, he might have knocked the antenna off of it.
It's a possibility. David just cleaning the tires there. And we'll be back to Nashville with Busch Racing live on TNN right after this word.
Oh, Hermie Sadler.
Back under green, Hermie Sadler slow in the back straightaway. We've just dropped the green flag for the restart. Sadler trying to gain back to speed. Todd Bodine took off with the lead, and Sterling Marlin dropped in there, separating Bodine from second place Bobby Labonte. We'll pass along that the racing electronics gear did work just fine. David Green heard us and responded. For some technical reason, it was not patched through for you to hear his response on air. We'll work with that. Under 40 laps to go. And now David Green alongside Sterling Marlin. And into turn one, caution waves. Ooh, somebody's bumper cover that Todd Bodine just ran over. It's plastic, shouldn't hurt the car.
See Sterling coming around there. He's trying to get back in the lead lap, but the leader come through. Todd Bodine, he did not make up his lap.
That's Randy LaJoy's, judging by the big FINA decal on the side there. .32 laps to go. Hermie Sadler brushed the wall there in the back straightaway after that restart.
Mike, he didn't brush it. He just knocked the fire out of it. He come off. Watch the car go up in the air there, come back down. That's a hard lick coming out of turn two.
That loss of momentum allowed 5 cars to go underneath him, but Sadler continues on. Hermie mired in 25th in the point standings coming into this race. Right now he's running 18th, 1 lap down. Debris is cleaned up. Quick look around the racetrack by the track crews will give us another lap of caution. And Sadler comes on to pit road. John Munson and crew come around. And right behind him, Jeff Fuller, who had a tough day after cutting down a right rear tire and hitting the wall early on. Want to say hi to Tommy Gale, a former Winston Cup driver, up there just outside Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He's spent a little time between the sheets.
Yeah, he had an operation, and get well soon, boy. I tell you, he drove many a mile for Elmo Langley in the 64 car. A lot of people remember you, and get well soon.
He and Dick May gave us a lot of laughs along the way.
You bet.
Rodney Combs has managed to keep that car on the lead lap, that number 43. 14 cars running on the lead lap. Rather now, Combs has fallen 2 laps down due to recent repairs. Todd Bodine the leader as they get 1 to go. Bobby Labonte in second, David Green in third. Fourth is Joe Nemechek, who's fought a loose race car all day. Fifth is Curtis Markham. Sixth, Bill Parsons. Seventh is Terry Labonte. Eighth, the rookie driver, Glenn Allen Jr. Ninth is Randy LaJoy. In 10th, Elton Sawyer. 11th, Dick Trickle. 12th is Doug Hevron. 13th, Jeremy Mayfield. And 14th, Larry Pearson. They are on the lead lap. 1 lap down are Sterling Marlin, Chad Little, Bobby Dotter, and Hermie Sadler. Rodney Combs and Jim Bound round out the top 20. 32 laps to go. Getting ready to go green. Well, let's pick right up where we left off and see what Bobby Labonte has for Todd Bodine. Boy, Bodine got a big jump on the restart, but this time Bobby Labonte clears the lapped car of Sterling Marlin. David Green does not.
See David Green down there on the inside going under Sterling Marlin. That's the first 3 cars as you see him come by. David Green is running very well. That car is handling quite well right now. I think he's going to give the lead cars a bunch of trouble as they get down near the end. Todd Bodine, I don't know what his tires are like right now, but he's running awfully well.
In the wall hard is Todd Bodine. Very hard hit at turn 3. He fires it up, but I don't think he's going to drive it back in, is he?
Well, the right front's gone on it. You see it's not even turning, so it's knocked back into the firewall.
Buddy, I saw him take a hit like that at Rockingham. And that is a tough one.
You know, just before the break there, he run over that bumper on the back straightaway there. It is fiberglass, but it might have just punctured that tire a little bit, and when he got back under speed, it might have went flat.
Well, let's have a look at it.
See him going down into turn 3. He's the first car there. Now watch him when he turns in. Oh, it breaks loose. Right rear's loose. He just got in there a little bit stiff, and as I said, the tires, you don't know how well it was gripping as he started in the corner. The back just come around on him.
He is trying to drive it back in. Remember, they have no sponsor for this team. They were trying to pick up a big paycheck and attract a sponsor. They want to run the entire season with this car, but need some funding to do it. And this sure won't help. Todd Bodine led 3 times today for 36 laps. It's been a tough day for several drivers. This is just the latest in a long list of bitter disappointments today. 16th caution. Will be right back. 34 laps to go when they get this restart. Let's show it to you once again. On that last caution flag, Todd Bodine runs over this fiberglass bumper cover. Did it damage his tire? Who knows?
It could have been, because he had been going in that corner hard all day. But you see the back end take off. He goes up, makes a hard lick to the outside wall there, drives the right front right into the firewall.
They're still trying to fix his car on pit road. Rodney Combs and Sterling Marlin also made pit stops. And we take the green with David Green chasing Bobby Labonte. And Joe Nemechek getting together with the 23 of Chad Little. David Green looking under Bobby Labonte, not that time. Remember, David drove Bobby Labonte's car last year on this series and drove it to a championship. But now Labonte decides he'd take the wheel for the 16 or so Busch races he's going to run for Shell Oil. And David Green moves over to Buzz McCall's team. Kirk Shelmerdine calling the shots for David Green on pit road, and they've had a tremendous start to this season. And now running in second, chasing his mentor and former car owner Bobby Labonte. Joe Nemechek is third. Curtis Markham's had a great day up here. Rather, Nemechek is, and then Curtis Markham, as they battle here for the lead.
You can see David Green coming out of the corner. He takes a look down on the low side. He fades to the outside, kind of to give him a mirror full of the car in the mirror, and then he dives to the inside. If he makes the pass, it'll probably be coming off turn 4. You see him going low there? Couldn't quite get the drive up off the corner to close in on Bobby Labonte. He's racing a very talented race car driver there. Bobby Labonte does not make many mistakes.
20 laps to go. And now it's Bobby Labonte's turn to try to use up a bit of racetrack. Look at the fight back here. Doug Hebron inside.
That's Randy LaJoy there. What's left of Randy LaJoy. Oh, a little contact.
Elton Sawyer got into LaJoy. All those cars were fighting on the lead lap for 7th place.
Yeah,
Randy wants out of there. And the Finaloop Chevy, for defending series champion team Base Motorsports, will end up on the hook. Boy, this started out with 40 cars looking like the Easter parade, and it's turned into Halloween.
Wow. He had a lot of damage to that car before he got tagged in, but wow, he's not a happy camper right now. You can tell that.
Not one, but 2 hard shots. caution number umpteen? 17. There's Hevron's car. He's got a little right side tire rub, and Elton Sawyer, the two other cars involved. Randy LaJoie was 5th in the points. There it is again, the rub with Hevron. Well, kind of looked like Randy came back down to the bottom groove and Elton was already there. Hard to say, just not enough room at that part of the racetrack for two cars.
And he hit the outside wall there very, very hard. See the one in that down as he stops to let everybody know he's okay, but he wasn't real happy about the contact there.
They'll hook up Randy LaJoie's car, and the pace car rolls around here at only 30 miles an hour. Now, we've had several cars subject to overheating under these caution flags, and it's due not to that slow speed, but to some of the dust and rubber buildup getting through the grill and against the radiators.
There's two things. They use an electric fan on these cars to cool them, and a lot of times the drivers they get so wrapped up in what they're doing they forget to turn on the fan when they're running slow, and there's not enough air coming through the radiator to keep it cool. So when your pit crew sees that steam coming out of the back, they remind you can believe that.
89 laps of caution today. You know, for a minute I thought I was at Hickory.
Well, I tell you what, this has been a slugfest up here today.
And this series does go to Hickory in April. You'll see that one on TNN Live. Well, they'll have a bit of cleanup to do here. 16 laps to go. Looking at the cars left running, the Labonte brothers have probably done the best job today of staying out of scrapes. Let's go to David Green's pit. Let's find out if he has anything for Bobby Labonte with Randy.
Well, the guy in the pits now, familiar face, familiar position. Kirk Shelmerdine won so many championships with Dale Earnhardt. You're doing a heck of a job. What's he saying about the car and this race?
Well, he knows he can win. It's just going to be kind of how the cards fall there. I got him in trouble gambling a little earlier and got back in the pack and got him turned around, and all the wheels are kind of pointing different directions now, but he's doing a real good job with it, and this is his kind of track, and he has a lot of confidence in Bobby there. I think he's not afraid to race with him, so we'll see what happens.
What about your situation as far as driving and crew chief?
Today I'm chassis consultant. I don't know about tomorrow. We'll have to catch me then and see.
Okay, Kirk Shelmerdine doing a heck of a job.
Did a great job for Dale Earnhardt for all those years. He's a valuable asset to any race team, and he's got David Green into the point lead here. As they clean up from Randy LaJoie's accident, Joe Bessie makes a pit stop, and we will too. We'll be right back with you live at Nashville. Welcome back to Nashville. NASCAR now has an official store. It's called NASCAR Thunder, and it opens May 11th at Gwinnett Mall Place in Atlanta, Georgia. Getting down to the final laps here in Nashville, Mike Joy with Buddy Baker and Randy Pemberton. 13 laps to go, and they give him the 1-to-go sign. Immediately following our live coverage here at Nashville, the Gator Nationals, the Mac Tool Gator Nationals from Gainesville, Florida. Final round NHRA action. Steve Evans and the TNN crew will be there. Look at the walking wounded that are here.
Not a pretty sight. But the cars up front,
well, they build them
like you said, the Labontes have really watched their cars pretty well today. They're in good shape.
Buddy, I think you have to go a long way to find drivers that drive further out front of their cars than the Labonte brothers.
Exactly. Have you ever talked to their dad? You bend that car up, you got trouble.
That's it. Lights out on the safety car. We're going to race here for 12 laps. Hermie Sadler's roof cam to show us this restart. Bobby Labonte is on the button. David Green trying to come right with him. Can David Green get past his mentor and win this race? Joe Nemechek in third. They all clear the lapped car of Chad Little. It'll be 10 laps to go this time by. Elton Sawyer brushed the wall in turn 2. 10 to go.
Well, you see Joe Nemechek here in 3rd spot in the 87 car. He's not able to close in, but I believe David Green may make a show out of this thing because Bobby Labonte is not pulling away from him.
Bobby Labonte is here to run for money. David Green is running for the championship. Will he get alongside Bobby Labonte with 9 laps to go? Trouble front straightaway. Hermie Sadler has popped the wall again, but we stay green. Terry Labonte rolling along side by side, clears Chad Little. So the front 6 cars in this race make that front 7. Now along the front straightaway. David Green edging closer to Labonte.
Boy, he's got a lot of car, but Bobby Labonte is running a perfect line around this racetrack. It's going to be extremely hard to make that move, but if anybody can, David Green has a lot of track knowledge, so he knows where to make these passes, but he's going to have to make Bobby Labonte make a mistake.
7 laps to go. When was the last time you saw Bobby Labonte make a mistake? He's a cool customer.
Well, he's got a pretty good customer right behind him there, and I guarantee you David Green's thinking points, but the main thing race car drivers think about is winning races. That's what he's thinking about right now, I would say.
I agree. 6 laps to go. Nemechek is 3rd. Curtis Markham's had a great day. He's 4th. Phil Parsons is 5th. 6th is Terry Labonte. 7th, the rookie Glenn Allen. 8th is Dick Trickle, and 9th, Jeremy Mayfield. 10th is Larry Pearson. David Green has now stopped closing. Labonte's got a little breathing room. Let's go back here to 3rd place. And 4th place, Curtis Markham. Parsons in 5th. Terry Labonte in 6th.
Well, Terry's worked his way all the way back up to 5th, but he's got 2 Tigers in front of him there. Phil Parsons gives quarters nobody as you see him make the move on Curtis Markham.
They both move past Markham. Drop the Lysol Pontiac to 6th. Handful of laps. Best race on the track is for 3rd. Here comes Parsons. Looking low on Nemechek, whose car's been loose a good bit of the day. He's got enough room. Opens the door. Terry Labonte says thank you. Moves right in there.
Curtis Markham tucking in there very tight. He's trying to take the inside. Nemechek's in trouble right now. He's on the outside of the track as Curtis Markham tries to get by him.
And Green is there for the lead. He's right up against the back bumper now of Bobby Labonte. Between turns 3 and 4, he's stout in the middle of the corner. But Labonte has straightaway speed. Starter holds the white flag. That's as close as David Green has been these last couple of laps. 1 lap to go.
Does he have anything, Mike?
Trouble, turn 4. Around goes Larry Pearson. All the way around. He grabs a gear and goes. We're going to race to the checker.
Yes, the track is clear as they come towards the checkered flag.
Labonte into turn 3. David Green comes right up. All but touches Labonte. Comes off the corner, and Bobby Labonte to win it.
Good race, good race. Phil Parsons, great job finishing 3rd.
David Green did all he could do without putting the car in jeopardy, and Bobby Labonte will win it.
Think the crowd enjoyed the race today? Listen to that.
So. Well, happy St. Patrick's Day, Bobby Labonte. Little Irish luck was riding with him today. That car all but unscathed. A couple of wheel marks down the right side, and that's about it. Randy Pennerton will greet him in victory lane in just a moment. Welcome back to Nashville Speedway USA, where the first test of the new asphalt by the Busch Grand National cars has seen Bobby Labonte come to victory lane in the Shell Chevrolet. David Green right on his bumper at the finish, and a mob scene down there as they surround Bobby Labonte, the happy victor. Randy Pemberton is in the midst there somewhere.
Well, Bobby's strumming his new Gibson guitar. Congratulations. I'm glad. I bet you're glad that one's over.
I'm really glad that was over. About lap 20, I thought about just quitting anyway, but figured I'd hang out for a while. But we didn't tear the car up too bad, so we just kind of hung out and stayed on the bottom. Somebody got up underneath you, just better off let them go. So I'd like to thank Shell and Goodyear and let's say Easy Care. We got new sponsors this year, so interstate batteries there on the car too. So we're pretty proud. We kind of hung together this weekend. We got a good had a good crew. Pit stops were good. We just had a good day. Just kind of stayed out of trouble.
And last year's driver followed you right to the checkered flag. He did a good job as well.
I tell you what, he's tough here and he's tough everywhere. But I guess I got the best car owner average for the past 2 years. But I think we had a good day, and just like to thank Chevrolet and everybody that helped out. It's been a great day, and I don't know what to say other than that. We just had a lot of fun.
Congratulations to Bobby Labonte and Bobby Labonte Racing. He comes home first today in the Opryland 320.
What a great trophy, that brand new Gibson guitar that the winner of every major race at Nashville Speedway USA gets. It goes on the wall of Bobby Labonte's house. And we'll be right back to wrap up here at Nashville.
Today's exclusive coverage of the BellSouth Mobility Opryland USA 320 on TNN has been brought to you by Texaco Clean System 3 gasolines. Add more life to your car. Take it to the star. By John Deere, makers of quality lawn and grounds care equipment. Nothing runs like a Deere.
Welcome back to Nashville. Bobby Labonte wins this race for the second year in a row as a car owner last year with David Green driving, and this year he gets the whole 100% of the purse. David Green, driving for Buzz McCall, finishes second. Phil Parsons third. Terry Labonte, Curtis Markham, the top 5. Joe Nemechek, Glenn Allen, the rookie, Dick Trickle, Jeremy Mayfield, and Bobby Dotter, the top 10. Larry Pearson, Elton Sawyer, Doug Hevron, Hermie Sadler, and Chad Little. 15th, Jim Bound, Joe Bessie, Kevin LePage, Rodney Combs, and Mike Dillon, the top 20. Most of these cars ended up in the garage area at the end of the day. Marlin was running. Jeff Fuller's sophomore jinx continues. Tim Fedua, and then Randy Porter, Kenny Wallace in the garage, Chuck Bound and Bobby Jones' car several laps down. Mike Waltrip and Mike McLaughlin's day ended early, as did the rest of the top 40 out of the race. Well, the Busch Grand National point standings, David Green. His reign atop the points continues. Bobby Labonte won the race, but he is not in the war for the chase for the season. Labonte, though, is second in the standings. Curtis Markham is third. Terry Labonte fourth. Randy LaJoie fifth. Then Phil Parsons, Rodney Combs, Jeff Purvis, Glenn Allen, and Mark Martin. Quite a day. Wow.
Wow, I'm telling you, they did a great race here. You know, it was new pavement. There was a lot of untested stuff here, and we had a lot of buildup on the outside of the racetrack that tore up a lot of race cars, but it was a good race.
Well, Bobby Labonte picks up win number 7 in his Busch Grand National career, his last one at Michigan in August of 1994. Our live triple header of racing continues from Gainesville, Florida. The Mac Tools Gator Nationals. NHRA final round coverage comes at you next. For Buddy Baker, Randy Pemberton, and Tom Wopat, this is Mike Joy congratulating Bobby Labonte on his win in the BellSouth Mobility Opryland USA 320. So long, everybody, from Music City and Racing City, USA, Nashville, Tennessee.